What's going on?
Black people, I love you, and I love you enough to tell you, you ain't ready to revolt shit. You don't feed yourself. You don't hunt your own animals and slaughter them. You don't prepare your own meat. You don't own your own land. You don't have a seed going in your window. So when you think about revolutionaryism, and you think about fighting and dying in the street, you ain't shit.
Killer Mike said black people ain't ready to revolt. It's a disparaging marriage and he ready to elope. Maritime coastline, deep V hull boat. Crack a nose turned up, machete to your throat. The divine snatched the arm back, she fine, she in Zinga. Moroccan mercenary got a line on Moringa. Ask Chief X to swing it. Go fund me to rock a new car or build a school like I'm Dr. Umar. Nah, go fund some more guns, banana clips and cannabis and bury it. The jackal, Anubis. I'm cool, keep them heaters and I'm in tie in an abyss. He ain't rapping due to libations, he just channeling this.
Hands down, you ain't ready to oppose nothing. You are as a part of this system as any white person gentrified.
I'm on life. Hovercraft propellers over swamp water. We make the thoughtful think they should have thought harder. Be aware of this. Don't blink, there's only one blunt between the careful and careless. It's hard to face it when you need a shrink or a therapist. Mental disorder ordered them to label you a terrorist. I breathe elements and I found the secret. We could all walk on water if it's ground beneath it. I carry my weapon and keep my trees and still be Hotep and ask to rig my shade. 6 in the morning, I greet my seed, then do everything I think I need.
I have to say this because I know our spirit and our emotions get stirred. I'm not against nobody on the panel. I'm with everybody on the panel. I'm not opposed to anybody. I agree with everything my brother said about revolutionaryism. So let me ask you guys a few questions. We're in the South, we're in the heart of the South right now. Who fishes? Who knows how to fish? Hands down. Who knows how to hunt? Let's hands. Hands down. Hands down.
What up? Hold up.
Black people, are you ready to revolt? Black people, are you ready to revolt? Black people, are you ready to revolt? Black people, are you ready to revolt?
Watch the song start over. What up? Hold up. Pop out chat. How y'all doing? I'm just getting started. We ain't gonna go too fast though. Let's listen to this.
If you ain't Sinetta, no time for that interview, dog. I put my shit out for niggas, I don't send it to blogs. Plan kill off the Buddha, not being discreet. One puff this big pops and projectiles. Between the sheets. Sun run, cold game, bring your cleats. The best flow blow, Eskimo, penguin feet. Don't need no blunt to burn. You run the turf with 10 niggas on the block. That's a punt return. Ayo, Dolomite prototype soldier with the solar light. Saber and he hold it like he hold a mic. Golden ice pendants. Sipping on that overpriced poltergeist spirits. Ripping at the open mic, spoke the nice lyrics like Mama moved mean overnight. Golden motorbike holding on some Tron shit. That nice neon kit is on it. The king's libation with exotic liqueur. The queen's vibration like a Sada Shakur. A lot of decor, imported foreign threads, they ain't got it to store. Nubian Kush, black top pottery jaws, 39% THC, the quality pure. Old rappers try to spit, ain't hot as before. It's like a five like the ball, bust the shots at the floor. Cats switch up their style when they ain't got it no more. Cause they gotta keep their product in stores to feed their kids. See what that weed did? The yes man agreeing on everything we said. I smell the mic like it's the love of my life. Don't get sliced and beat with the butt of the knife. Brother polite, I say I'm animalistic, cause I still be in the hood with my hand on my pistol. The Hebrews think I'm cannibalistic, E5 divination, channel the mystic, audio visionary. Let's play poetical Pictionary, picture me, burning down your missionary. Yeah, then I send you religion. That red dot on your head, that's Hindu tradition. Invisible, independent, intrinsic shit. I'll bring it all to an end with indivisible games. Charles Xavier, getting your brain. Mental anguish, a manifesting physical pain. Wizard remains to dance in the chemical rain. Breathe slow, then I'm up out of this physical plane. Got military machinery that exercise, weaponized greenery. Shine at a jeopardize the scenery, son. Bruh, the beam 10 times your distance. Inclines convention. Stop rising with no trend line resistance. The parabolic breakout. I'm F-16 with the aeronautic fake out.
God killer, killer,
God killer,
killer,
God killer,
killer.
God killer. It's the God killer, the God killer. That's who it is. The God killer, the God killer. It's the God killer, the God killer,
God killer.
the God killer. It's the God killer, the God killer, the God killer, the God killer, the God killer.
We about to get it in. I know one thing, when the music be playing, it be muting my mic. I mean, it be damping my mic. I hope everybody can hear me. What's up with the people? Let me find the chat. Head out the way. What's up? I think this is the wrong chat. Let me see. Let me say peace. You're having us another good show. Back live. About to get it in. I was watching. I actually only got to watch a little bit of the show on Titans TV the other day. Still pushing for the question about whether Egypt, all right, excuse me. The video is titled Kemet is Not Black. And one of the first things I tripped off was, well, that's an inflammatory remark. And it's stated that way, but it's stated that way erroneously, I think. Because not too many arguments have been mounted to say that Kemet meant black. The root of the term is Kim, which I show us all the time. So we can already see how this happens from the gate. And I'm going to just break it so down. Because what you see, hold on, so I got to share the screen in a different way. And you're going to see that we got all the corresponding, we got this argument has been answered already. So here we have, excuse me. The video says Kemet is not black, and that's the argument. They're going to get around it, but Kemet ain't black. Kemet is a word derived from another term, which is actually black. So out the gate, you see how they did that? You make a claim like that in order to make yourself correct. Because the argument ain't whether Kemet was black. Look at the video title. Kemet is not black. I ain't ready to roll yet, so we're going to play another slapper or something. And then we're going to get into it. I need a lot more participation in the chat. What's up? What's up? I see y'all. Need to see some people in the building. Like. If you in the video, we only got 30 likes. Come on, man. What y'all doing? Look, I'm looking right at it, right on the screen. Like the video. Let's make this like number go up right here. All right. I'm about to play a slapper, I guess. And dang, this is some unreleased slap. It's more like the hip hop people might like this. The conscious people might want to take a break for a minute. We're gonna toss some bars at y'all. I gotta go grab a water. That's all. So listen to this real quick. Sonetta TV exclusive right here. I'll be right back.
Hey, this one on me.
If you like the hold on.
Hey, it's on me. You know me. That's how it's gonna be. I spent some money on bruh, cause I'm your homie. Loaned him a few bucks, he got lonely. Ain't seen homie around. Something told me that OG was leaking, but the police was peepish. We smoking kush, getting high in your tweeter speakers. Got stripes Adidas sneakers, not like these weak ass niggas. The heater creeping, don't need a license for me to keep it. You niggas went from EBT to EDD when all she want is BBC. Brother J pushing the beat, PTB, wood grain Wagoneer, 3 TVs, triple OG, and your boy got respect though. You ever rock that high road day? I cut your check, bro. Look at your bank statements. For my hand cocked, I just put an easement on a parcel that was landlocked. Why you out here acting rowdy, flossing? I just put a bid on some land at the county auction. And no, not that high roll land, my own land. Arsonist, the pyro man, sparking it. Doing it with my own hands. We pull up like swatting that 5-0 band. You want a verse? It's like you throwing a talent show. With no talent, bruh, you need 5 more bands. I'm real, even though I know reality is simulated. I stimulated your minds with shit I innovated. I demonstrated my prime and still I'm in it, ain't I? You immolated my kind, you feel I'm winning, player? Well, just remember I ain't better than you. I'm just moist in the voice, sound wetter than you. You analyze my styles like competitors do. I can rewrite your bars like editors do. If we building, then bruh, I'm an edifice dude. I'll be a your hood like we peddling too. Cats talking on a player like I'm telling you boo. I got guns in the closet, you got skeletons dude. 10 G's in the flamingo when the pelican flew. You a dumb nigga, I'm an intelligent dude. Now I won't be, even if you selling me food. I pop you, but I ain't in the felony mood. I'm from Oakland, want somebody tell them be cool. Gotta squeeze in these bitches like Miss Melody's shoes. Old nigga reference, I keep the gold digger stepping. You ain't getting nothing but the pole and the pimpin'. I go big so it won't go larger. That's why the RV got a turbocharger. That's why the jet ski got a turbocharger. And baby on the back spilling Merlot water. My main man copped the hotel in Panama. Take an LJ shitting on niggas. Grandmama, I ran by my man by my baby mama house. He should have a plan by now. That's when my man threw back that $5 grand.
All right, hold on.
I keep a bag on me, dear Santa Claus. I'm really a chief, you playing a boss. I'm not your.
My man said share the video piece to Kalam. Let me see if I can. Thanks. Hope y'all appreciate those bars. That bar work. I ain't even tripping. So where we at now? So y'all see that, right? From the offset, we have Kemet is not black being discussed when the actual term of scrutiny should be Kim. Now, we'll get into this as we watch along, but dang, I gotta do this one more time. I'll be tripping because I didn't share the audio. Also share audio. All right. So let's see. Let me know y'all can hear that. Hold on. Hold on. What y'all seeing? Y'all not seeing what I'm seeing. Hold on. Why is it showing that, man? I gotta learn how to share stuff. Share screen. I was just sharing this window. Oh, that's the wrong window. My bad. I'm just out here getting goofy. Gang Goofy. Y'all can hear that, right? Like the video. So I ain't gonna be all over his head though, but when I heard that claim, locations start popping up in my head. And it is relatively true that for the most part, we'll find this NIU or the 049. I call it X marks the spot. I just call it that. I used to call it that to remember it when I seen it. It's relatively true that it indicates locations along the Nile, but not as a rule by the ancient Egyptians, are not like it was only because the areas of the people who used this language was along the Nile. But I could pull out one instance, and I just looked it up out the side out of my head. It is a location called Taru. No place along the Nile. Again, it's a fort in the Eastern Delta, so you could say that's along the Nile. But if you look at the location of Taru, it's kind of like not what we would get typically. I mean, it's kind of like, or you can even think of Amarna. These are locations just popping up in my head to say, okay, we should note that what he's saying is definitely true, but it's like not a rule of thumb that these locations that they're talking about actually have to be along the Nile. But that's neither no issue. Hmm. That makes sense. All right. So in his text, he defined Kemet to mean a pasturage with an abundance of grass and water. Man, hold on. Let me see. Oh, somebody said the video ain't had no sound. Damn, how come that keep happening? Thanks for letting me know. That's probably why J Mill was calling me because I couldn't see that. But I'm just don't even trip. I'm about to do that one more time. Why ain't it got no sound when it say also share audio, man? Well, if it don't got no sound, all right, we're gonna start over. No big deal. Thanks, J Mill, for the call. Let me see. Can y'all hear this now?
Which they call themselves the Sesh Meternecher, or the writings of the Meternecher, or the Meternecher writings, I should say, kind of
Y'all
backwards.
can hear that now?
And so these are the 4 glyphs that are the typical form of the word Kemet. So there's going to be some other forms of Kemet.
Let me know if y'all can hear it. I know y'all can hear it. Y'all
the
should hear it, but let me know though.
hieroglyph in the green on this is supposed to be a loaf of bread. It looks kind of orange.
All right, so I'm gonna take it back just so we could be not even tripping. I mean, just so we can.
It's going to deal with some highlights. I'm just going to give you some highlights, and if we need to go into any more details during the question and answer, we can do so. So we're going to start out by defining the word Kemet. So for those of you who are not familiar with the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, which they call themselves the Sesh Meternecher, or the writings of the Meternecher, or the Meternecher writings, I should say, kind of backwards. And so these are the 4 glyphs that are the typical form of the word Kemet. So there's going to be some other forms of Kemet that we'll look at a little later. But the hieroglyph in the green represents 2 consonants in sequence, KM. The owl represents the consonant M, as in Mary, singular. This is supposed to be a loaf of bread. It looks kind of orangey, almost like a hill. That represent, or supposed to represent, the T sound. And then there is this last hieroglyph, this kind of orange circle with the X in the center. This glyph is not a part of the pronunciation of the term. It is an added hieroglyph there to give you context for how the word should be interpreted. So it's letting you know that this is a place name. And so that symbol is what we call the Newt symbol. And it represents a village, a town, a location where human beings reside. And sometimes you'll see it in mythological locations too. So cities or places in the underworld. But for the most part, it has to deal with living cities along the Nile. So when you see that symbol there, that means it is, 1 is a location, and 2, it is a location along the Nile River within the territorial state of ancient Kemet.
Yeah, so I wasn't disagreeing with that. I just was pointing out instances where we do find locations mentioned that are not traditionally along the Nile.
So this is Kemet, and this is
Amarna and Taru.
It's a phonetic complement here, so you really don't count this M, but it's just to reinforce that the last consonant for this symbol is in fact M. So you read it Kemet, not Kememet, if that makes any sense. So in the text, I have defined the word Kemet to mean a pasturage with an abundance of grass and water. And
that's where we was at, right? So he's saying in his work, he defined it to mean a pasturage. Dang, I wish I could go find that book. I don't got that book at this spot right here, but a pasturage with an abundance of grass and water is what? First of all, we got terms for that, but what is that really? So before this text he's cited from, they put forth another work which just somewhat surmised this term in another term called riparian land. That Kemet was defined as riparian land. But here we just have a pasturage with abundance of grass and water. Now I'm gonna come out of, let me see if it'll show you what I'm seeing. I'm gonna go to, Sandro Capo Chichi's work on the subject. Oh, I forgot about the third article, y'all. Oh, today gonna be a good day because I'm now. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. Present, share screen. Now look, this is Professor Sandro Capo Chichi on the term, and this brother has been into our discussions and addressing it. I went over a lot of his work on the subject, but this one is one that I had not actually read on any of our shows. But this is a very good article because this is the article where we get the correlation between the soil and the people as he breaks down from the Semitic tradition, as I often try to show people on my show when I'm telling you, look, how come you'll allow the Semites to do this with the color red, but you won't allow ancient Egyptians to do it with the color black? Now here, but I just want to skim through this to see if he. Now, I'm just looking at this article. He might do some of the things. But yeah, this is one we'll visit in a moment. But we also want to look at this one, and then there's one other one because he's about to detail arguments. And we need to look at the people who said similar things to what Asar is saying. For his credit, like he's not the only one out there trying to say that. And we need to look at the sources he's standing on. So they just talking about the skin color. Now, one argument, in my opinion, supports the hypothesis. This is Lamb and Schnickel, but hold on. I wanna go down and find what the scholars start talking about. Maybe it isn't. Here we go. It's etymology. So he produced 3 articles on the subject, and then I have a personal correspondence with Sandro Campro Chichi concerning the matters, as well as concerning some of the work our brother Asar stands on to mount his claim. So let's look at this. When we start now, there's a scholar, P. Fuma, had a 1993 work where he says, now notice this here. Fuma says it means a national territory. Our brother says it means a pasturage with an abundance of grass and water. We're going to go through some of these scholars and see what lines up. Fuma that's his first argument about it has nothing to do with blackness, in a similar way that Asar will mount his argument that Kim has nothing to do with blackness, but not standing on the same data points. They mount that argument in 2 different ways. Now, we're going to get to the next scholar. Right. Mboli. Now look at this. A collectivity of territories traversed by water. Let's go back. A pasturage with an abundance. Pasturage. Let me look. I know what pasturage is, but I'm about to put this on the screen for us. Did y'all hear that? It said pasturage. Land used for pasture. The occupation or process of pasturing cattle. I definitely need my pea popper. Pasturing cattle, sheep, or other grazing animals. That's a pasturage. Oh, y'all not seeing? Well, it's cool. I just went to the definition, but y'all still on the other page. It don't matter. Well, it do matter because I want y'all to see when I'm switching. So watch this. Hold on. But you just can't hear the audio, so I gotta remember that. So again, we have it here, pasturage. Its rolling floodplain and adjoining hills offer the rich pasturage. So I don't understand that right there from the gate. That when coming up off of the riparian land argument, we now saying that it's a pasturage, that Kemet was a pasturage with an abundance of grass and water. I'm not even trying to trip, and I'm just not even, this ain't preloaded. This is just me, because when I was looking at the video, all these thoughts was popping in my head, and I never got to pause and just let y'all really trip off this like I'm tripping off of this. Then he lined it up with the Sumerian, and Chuck Morgan already talked to him about this, and this was kind of crazy. I didn't say he did any discrediting, but I don't think this Key Duru thing is doing anything right now. Hopefully someone who's familiar with the Sumerian language can let us know. But a pasturage with an abundance of grass and water is relatively close to a collectivity of territories traversed by water, but we'll see how Mboli arrives at these conclusions. By making a few erroneous assertions. Let me see. He made a few erroneous assertions. Here's the first erroneous assertion, that nobody in ancient Egypt ever basically. He says, however, no ancient Egyptian documented over 3,000 year history ever refers to any link between Kemet, Egypt, and Kim Black. This absence is all the more curious as the ancient Egyptians used to make links between entities and notions which are pronounced in the same way, like Men, Remech, and the Tears of Ra. But that was contradicted by Sandro Capocicci, and he showed the source on that. Here go the mouse part. All right. Now, another thing that my brothers, when discussing this with one of his Asar's counterparts, he leaned heavily on this pseudo work right here about the name of Athribis, which illustrated a deep misunderstanding about Kemet. The misunderstanding was that there was another Athribis, and that since this other quote unquote Greek word Athribis in Kemet, since one Athribis goes back to a term called Kim-er and has something to do with Kim, there was some type of pseudo analogy that maybe the other Athribis does the same thing. But when we learn about these locations, we learn that ain't how that go down. Athribis was not translated from the term that has anything to do with Kim. So look, this is an error by Mboli that our brother stood on when forming an argument. I can't say that he got this in his new present work, but in the old work, or in the arguments manifest in the old work, they leaned on this. That's a mistake. Beat the brakes off that. I did myself. That's a mistake. By Mboli, which helped you mess this up. Now look at this. So he said another argument proposed by Mboli deals with the number of toponyms. Kemet, a different Kemet they think of Thebes or the name of Lower Egypt. Just Lower Egypt, huh? Now this is crazy. Now what is this? Kim It what a Kikam district. A Kakam district. This is all work toponyms by Mboli. Kim are a city of the name of Athribis. So see, these is two. Kemet Athribis, Kim are a city of the name of Athribis. Kim are the Fayum sanctuary. Man, this is so mistaken. These are Kim are a canal in the name of thieves and cops. Kim are now watch. Now you know when a scholar hit you with in the first place. I mean he hit him with in the first place. So you know the source material was way, way off. But we about to get back to watching the video. But and what I wanted us to know is the before I stop, a pasturage. So it's for grazing cattle, Kim it was. Okay. I'm not throwing that out. I just want us to see how he defines it. With an abundance of grass and water. Now he just beat up Mboli, but let's get down to when he's talking about these other things. Instead, the author assumes that these terms Kim are one and the same word, meaning a territory crossed by water, and that the T Kim in the name of Athribis in the name of or Egypt are the mark of a collective Egypt and constitute several territories. Well, that ain't what I was looking for, but I want to show you some more. And it's one female scholar that we need to pull. Oh, come on, Reggie, tell me her name. I'll keep forgetting her name. But we got her work, and there's also basically to Asar's credit, or however you want to use the information, there were other people at the time. She wrote her book in maybe the 50s. But there are other people who did, or maybe not that late, maybe 60s or 70s. But other people who indeed mounted similar arguments. But territories traversed by water are pasturage with abundance of grass. If pasturage indicating that they stayed there for cattle, let's let the brother continue and see. Because there's a lot to that, as Brother Reggie has let us know about the cattle and Kemet connection.
Since it's primarily a linguistic
Let me know y'all
analysis,
hearing this.
I also done the research.
How is this going to help Black people? Silly question. It's plenty of classes today going on in the world. You could consider this one of them. If it's not a class for you or whatever, then whatever. So you're teaching Greek and not the ancient teaching? What are you talking about? Dr. Bear, what are you talking about teaching Greek?
And found cognates in several African languages, and including one language which is considered a language isolate, and that is the Sumerian language. However, it has consistent sound meaning correspondences between, the Sumerian languages and Egyptian as well as Bantu languages in Central Africa. So in the future, I will be doing a text to kind of build on the scholarship that has already been done, linking the Sumerian language to Niger-Congo languages, by previous scholars, but in a more rigorous way. But that's neither here nor there. So in the Sumerian language, I argue it is cognate with this term kiduru, which means damp ground or irrigable land. And one of the cognates in the Chiluba Bantu language out of the Democratic Republic of Congo is Chinkanda.
Man, I don't want to have to skip all this, dog. Straight up.
Cultivate.
I'm just saying, I ain't even gonna go there. This is the part that be making me stop watching. I mean, I've seen it so many times and seen so many people do that shaky their head, but I want to get into more some of these claims dealing with the metal nature, basically.
Ross sometimes means, you know, the word Kemet, which I define as a land with an abundance of water and vegetation, grass and vegetation. Another way you can say it is a riparian land.
Let's just stop right there. So we trying to say that if I open this up and show you this, they got terms for this already. And we cannot just play. This is just as bad as anything that any priest is doing. This is worse. You can't just go around making stuff up, man. Hold on. Let me show you something, man. Golly. It's ridiculous. Let me show you. I just got to go back to the window where I can switch up real fast. Now, check this out. Oops, that's the wrong screen. Hold on. Check this out. So I'm just going to type. Well, I want to see Tom Mary, right? But I'm going to put they can fix the spelling for me, even though that was reason. All right. Let's see if they put that. No, it's not going to be spelled like that. I'm just going to put in land, right? And the thesaurus lingua Egypti. And look at all this stuff. As soon as, y'all can't hear me again? No, this is somebody else. Hold on. Hold on real quick. All right, so the first thing we see when I typed in land is a definition. Arable means what he's saying. We know that, right? Look. It's nonsense. If we go to an actual credible source, look at this, arable. Let's take this word and just pop it right here. Arable land, any land capable of being plowed and used to grow crops. It's where you can grow things. This is arable land is attached to black soil. But notice how there's so many terms that already define what he's saying Kemet defines. And this is just what happens is if this term means that, like if you go in the dictionary and start doing that, I don't know, man. But I want to show you another term. I'm just going through hella land terms right there. And one we'll get to is actually Tameri, which means cultivatable land. By some definitions, let's see if it's defined by that in here. But as you see, I mean, as I'm looking for more. Here we go. Here's another one. This ain't even Tameri. This is the result. What is this? Cultivated land. Let's keep popping these terms in there. But it's cultivated. Oh, all right. Well, you need to know cultivate like land. It means to grow. Cultivated cropland compromises land in a row of crops. Cultivated land, bro, where you can grow. See the black soil? Cultivatable land is the same. Arable. Look, I put in cultivated land, and arable land is popped up over here. It's all the same thing, and they got that defined already. Now, the funny part is, hold on. Y'all clearly see I'm going into the dictionary showing, well, hold up. They already knew how to say that. Why they come out with a new term to say what they already knew how to say? There's a plot of land, but there's one I do want us to see. Here's the dry area, opposite of the cultivatable land. Here is inundated land, the whole different term for that. You see this? They wasn't dumb. They already knew this. They had ways to say these things. And then we're going to have to deal with the context of the term Kemet. Because one who argues that such is the case is being proposed by our brother, you got to answer certain questions, like why the term Kemet comes into existence in the 12th dynasty. So was the land not cultivatable before that? Was the flood not happening before that? We got low-lying land. I like going through it this way and not always just zooming you to it, because I can see more stuff than I intended to even show you. You see that island of fire? We'll come back to that at a better time when it's appropriate. Another term for arable land, a field. So I'm saying this is not something that was not considered by the ancient Egyptians. And here we got more ways to say you can grow stuff here, arable land. When we come to Kemet, none of the scholars concluded what our brothers concluding now. But we're going to get back to it. I want to show the last one to see if I can just go straight to it. I'm going to go to the dictionary. Let me get to the top. It's like, it may be there. One of the things that we'll notice most is, hold on, this is what I'm going to do. Watch this. I'm going to take cultivated land. All right, well, I don't have to do that. I could just hit this. Let's see if it does that eventually. Well, it ain't doing it. But we'll find out that a definition for top area is also cultivated land. And so that has been addressed by the scholarship, by the ancient Egyptians. And I really want to know what about that theory would make this term become relevant at the time period when it becomes relevant, and it's particularly in the 12th dynasty.
Derives from a word meaning to rise or to feel. And then it becomes part of the semantic range in terms of being complete and full.
See, this is where he starts come on, man. I challenge all of this. This is nonsense. Kemet coming from to rise and to feel, and then it go to complete and to full, and then it go to riparian land. Nonsense.
And from complete.
Come on, dude. I can prove it's nonsense. Like, I don't just be playing on the show. I just got to keep on. Look, let's show you how much nonsense this is. The way I'm sharing, I got to keep alternating the way I'm sharing. So that's all that's happening. The window I want is this one. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Man, there's 3 ways to share. Now it's working. Now we cooking. I done found the 3rd way to share. All right, look. He telling y'all that by these arrows and by his statement that this occurred. Listen, this is pseudo-ship at its finest.
Moist means the word Kemet, which I define as a land with an abundance of water and vegetation, grass and vegetation. Another way you can say it is a riparian land. Derives from a word meaning to rise or to feel.
Oh my gosh. Now, I'm not even about, I'm just going to show y'all stuff in a dictionary, then we're going to do a little bit of philology. Now, first. Man, where my Vigors be going? There we go. Now, I'm not about to tell you you're not about to see other terms for Kemet. Dang, this, I don't know. I must have to re-download this dictionary. I don't know why it's been doing this lately. Every time I open it, it just closes. Look. Watch it close. All right, it stayed open. Look. I'll try to do something to close. So let's go into the TLA. This is the most, this is completely, this is why all the scholars be saying that boy is, nonsensical. But let me show you. We're going to take the lemma, KM, put it in a qualified source. All right. Now let's look at our options for this consonant combination. People didn't even understand why the crown of Lower Egypt was called Kim in this presentation. He really was like, we got a crown of Upper Egypt too, that's Kim. Like, I'd be like, dude, go do some homework. Crown of Lower Egypt, which is red, called Kim. It is called Kim because it's darker than the white crown. All right? That's why it's called Kim. Here we have another Kim spelled with an A right here, so you should already know it's different. It's like Tom. That ain't our Kemet. And it really say, comma. So this really ain't a cognate if you do read the middle nature. Semitic word. That's not an option. Here we have Kim as a heap of burning charcoal or a pile. Notice this is yellow. If we click into this, the attestations aren't there. You don't want to source that. Tell nobody that. You're going to be looking at the digital slip archives trying to find where they got that from. Now look, we're going through the options. Remember your boy said it come from something to mean to feel, right? So let's look at our options. Here we go. Black, Kim. Y'all know we talk about this one all the time. But look at all of the Kims that's now. This is how you know, and this is how I learned this from Sandro too. A lot of the stuff they say about the other alternatives is pseudo because most of these Kims are related to blackness or darkness. So notice this. This is a Kim, and it's a red crown, but it's darker than the white crown. Kim can be used as a comparative term to say darker than. It don't gotta be bliggity black. Y'all keep on tripping. What they call they something black? The term mean black, but it could just mean darker than too. Now look, we're gonna go through all of these right here and watch some more come up. Semitic word, a heap of burning charcoal. We got black. So notice how a burning charcoal is related to blackness. Notice how the other Kim, a pupil of the eye, is related to blackness. You're not going to get around this. We have a Kim, which is black leather. Do I have to tell you that that's related to blackness? We got a Kim, an epithet of the gods of Athrebis. If we know that this god is the black god as defined by, even E.A. Wallace Buzz says that. It says Kim Shapashi, the magnificent black bull. Notice here, Shapashi is his magnificence. Look, Shapashi ain't the bull part. So the blackness even in this bull is coming from the Kim. They're not even, and so in most of the other uses of Kim, they going back to black. Here we go, Kim black, which is talking about this bull. Now we have this to be complete option, which if you go back to Asar's, he's taking to rise, to fill. Now it's full and it's complete. Now it's a riparian land. Man, oh man. So, but let's keep looking. Because he made a particular claim. And we got Kim as the ending form. Kim as a complete work. Notice all of these Kims are still in the same category of completion, just like the others were in the category of blackness. Here you got a Kim lawsuit. Kim Big Black, going back to black again, big black one. Kim Earp, the big black, lake region. Kim M, to be black, to be dark. So then black begins to take back over again when you just looking to see your other options for the term. But you want to go be complete, right? Now look at this. Kemet, black arable land. This is the closest one we're going to get to what we're talking about. As we say, they already got this defined as the black. And they saying this, the black is dealing with the fertile soil, right? And so if you can see what's happening here, this is just another argument mounting on top of. So let me just say it frankly. In order for Diop and all of the brothers who said that black Kemet Kemetiu meant black people, in order for them to be wrong, you have to dismantle the root of those terms. And so in order to keep Diop, to make Diop be wrong about Kemetiu, meaning black people, see, listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying Kemetiu. That is a derivative of a term, Kemet, which is a derivative of a term, Kim. Now it's isolated that Kim mean black. Now we got a T on the end of Kim indicating the location. And they said, hold up, this might mean something else now. And then they taking it further to Kemetiu, which would mean people of that location or people related to the root of that term. It can mean people from the black land or people or black people. But please note that all of this is being done to make sure that D-Op could be wrong about Kemet to you in the long run. Make sure you note that, because that's the ultimate thing. And so, as we see here, if you want to lean on this, you about to fall off, and I told you that. This is what I mean. They got this, they not lying to you saying that this Kemet means the black, right? They not even tripping. But they saying they talking about the cultivatable land. Now look, that means they addressed what Asar is talking about. But look at this. This is what I want you to see. What does this say? Two attestations. Y'all see what that means? Let me show you something else. Oh, look, no, before I do that, we're going to click into the 2 times that Kemet was actually used to say something about fertility of the land, or I could grow something here. Twice. If I go to when Kemet was used the other way, it's going to be like 400 to 500 attestations. Hold on, let me tap in. We're going to talk about gold and silver. Somebody said, was the soil black in color? Yes, sir. And there's a lot of conjunction between the soil being black and the people. Don't throw away the significance of the black soil. It's evident, it's true, but this is being misrepresented and misused by our brother. Here go the 2 times that the text corpus say that Kemet was referring to the black. You clearly see the black, but they say it means fruit land, which actually means arable land. And for just to be an honest scholar, let's say it means riparian land in these 2 attestations. Now, one is the Stela of Mentuhotep. Another we have at Karnak Amen District, Court 1 in the Cash Court. Mentuhotep, let's go into the text and deal with this. And this is what I'll be talking about. I'm like, it's worse than saying Kemet to you mean black people, because we got at least 6 attestations for that. But this, you sitting on 2 instances where that source or that claim may have evidence to be corroborated. Now let's see. And let's see how this falls together. And this is in a time period where Egypt was primarily not even called Kemet. At this time, Egypt was probably, called, as you seen earlier, the 2 banks. Okay. So maybe they might make me skim through too much of the text, but let's see. Sometimes you gotta just do it and be thorough. I don't want to take too long with this video though. So I'm gonna go back because this text hella long. So what I'm gonna just read it from the excerpt. Leader of the black lands and leader of the red lands. So right here, we can take that right away. This is what I'll be talking about. Hold on. This is one of the attestations. It's only 2. And this is one of them that a person who want to say that, look, Kemet means riparian land, they would refer to this, and it don't even look, it just say leader of the black lands and leader of the red lands. You gonna try to make somebody think that's talking about farming and stuff? Well, hopefully the text before that, when you do the other work, shows it. Normally, if you click co-text, it shows it. There it go. Look. Now, who pacifies the Asiatics from their actions? A potent on the two banks that's in Egypt. Leader of the black land and of the red lands. One who gives orders to Upper Egypt. Nothing about no goddamn cultivation. Nothing about, look, we about to grow some stuff. They just said this could mean arable lands in this instance. Well, it don't. As you see. This is why you do the philology. You got to go look and see how it's used in context. Now let's look at this other one. Be the Egyptians. It says Remech Kemet. Oh my gosh. Remech Kemet right here. So this also ain't talking about no goddamn cultivation. So if people do this work, even when you find it in a dictionary where you say, hold on, real quick. Hello? Yes, yeah, here comes that. All right, bro. I got some people here. Hold up. Let me play a song, man. We all take a break. Play this again. Because it's slap.
If you ain't signed that, no time for that in dog. I put my shit out for niggas, now send us plan kill off the Buddha, not being discreet. One puff, big pops and projectiles. Sun, roll, game, clear, best of low, Eskimo. Don't need no blood to burn. You run the turn for 10 niggas on the block. That's a punk return. Ayo, the mic, type soldier with the soul of light. Saber and he hold it like he hold a mic. Golden ice minutes. Sipping on that overpriced poltergeist spirit. Ripping at the open mic, smoking nice lyrics. Mama move mean overnight, golden motorbike. Holding on some crime shit that nice neon is on it. The king's libation with exotic liqueur. The queen's vibration like a lot of support. A lot of reported for it, got it, Nubian Kush, black pottery jaws, 39% THC. Rapper try to spit ain't hot as before. Fuck, I'm fine like the ball, busting shots as I pour. Cats switch up their style when they ain't got it no more.
All right, hold on.
They gotta keep their product in stores.
All right, so look. I got some movers here moving some stuff. I just had to come all anew, be spicy. I had to get me a joint closer to, some other stuff. We can blew up them stoves. Now I got some movers here. So I'm gonna let them do their thing, but I want to continue this and then finish it out.
And then it becomes.
But did y'all see that though? That the two claims, the two attestations that would stand with you just got dismantled when you looked into the primary attestations. Now, when you come back out of this, see all of these Kemets? Let's go to the Kemet up here that don't, where they say it don't got nothing to do with it. They say Black Land Egypt. Now watch this. It clearly says the Black Land. Let's talk about it because the Sudan is the land of the blacks. And they will want you to think it's an individual line in the ground that would take, you switch these words. When you in the Sudan, you in the the land of the blacks, but when you in Kemet, you in the Black Land. As if these people wouldn't have noticed all that stuff. Now we come here. I said it was 400 to 500 attestations. I remember it's 293 attestations compared to the 2 for it being something about riparian or something. Now let's look. The question, the video they did says Kemet is not black. The qualified source here says Kemet, the black land. If you have problems reconciling that type of stuff, meaning if you as having a conflict between what somebody who's trying to be a scholar on YouTube say and what the well-qualified sources say, you're highly impressionable. Lightweight, naive, you're a joke waiting to happen, you a lick. You a lick. You a jook. You a come up. Let's click into this. Now, look at this, and this is why I tell you we have to do philology. Everybody want to be on their linguist hype, and they don't even be sitting there seeing how words was used in context. In the now in this text corpus, which is updated but is moving slow, and I'm in the new one. I could pop right to the new TLA, which would just maybe provide us a few more sources on certain terms. But nothing has put the term Kemet earlier than the 12th dynasty yet. So look at this. This is one of the first occurrences of it. You trying to tell me it meant an area traversed by water and stuff? This is stupid. Let's see if your claim can stand up to the primary attestations. Here we go to Simroset the first at the Montu Temple in Etad, right? Where we're gonna have, we can't even go, well, we could go into the text if I refresh and let it go to the German, then click. Codex will take you right to where it says it. So let's go on the Codex. This is one of the first times the word was used. And y'all tell me this talking about this mean riparian land. Let's see what they talking about then. They must be about to have some farming war then. Says before him, the loved one who rises as a lone star among them, it says, while being full of concern of his country, the shadow of the God. For Egypt, people are from something about Egypt's remnants, but it's all broken up. Everyone greets his majesty, the sun people. Very interestingly enough. Now, I went over the sun people. You know what the sun do to your skin, right? But I went over the sun people before, and what you'll learn is the sun people throughout history, sometimes they're real individuals on earth. Do you see that say that right there? Sometimes the sun people are real individuals on earth, and sometimes they're mythological cosmic beings. But here we can clearly see this is the first time you find Egypt. Is they talking about vegetation and stuff like that? I don't think so. Matter of fact, I think I need to go move something for these movers. All right. This the song. One of y'all gonna re-sing this song for me, the hook on this song? Let me know. I'll be right back. You know we doing it. Matter of fact, I should let some people on the stream. That way y'all can hold me down. So I'm about to invite some people to the stream. Click the link. Gonna be my co-host. But do y'all see this clearly? That the first use of the term ain't none of these about to be talking about no farming, nothing, man. People retarded. Watch this. Who robs the Nubians and the Mijah retreat? Egypt with through the no, you can't read it because it's all broken up. With through the nomads roam. Is this about pastoral, a pastor? They're more or less just indicating the location, whatever the location is. Then after he had united the land, Ra gave him the entire rulership of Horus as one whom Wajet placed as the Horus the Avenger. When he had united the, look, it says Hakah Hor Kemet. Horus is the ruler of Kemet. Hakah Horu Kemet. You see that? This ain't got nothing to do with all that stuff. Now, there were 120 sailors with him on his boat. This is the story of the shipwrecked sailor. There was 120 sailors with him, some of the best of Egypt, some of the best sailors of the land of Kemet, of the Black Land. This ain't got nothing to do with what they talking about. I will cause ships to be sent to you located with the treasures of Kemet. Seth, what's up?
Peace, God. I actually have some questions I wanted to load you with, but it would take away from the topic that you're dealing with right now. So I'll wait until you finish clarifying.
All right, let's deal with that in a minute. Let me go. Damn. Hold on, I'm gonna play this joint. Be right back.
Yeah, and I'm a work going else, bro. He was conscious, hungry, just the house of consciousness is going out, they crazy, alright, done, shoot, strings, the I'm rock, squad, nigga, dudes, wings, Islam, I give the way you learn what you teach, the west side rapping, with that voodoo speech, all that Sahara, pound, feet, I'm like, with that agricultural farmer that grew wheat for the storehouse. We feed the Hebrews, to lead the people. When we defeat the feeble, they wanna know for life, me off. I never pay me my money though. That means 100. And I don't work 'cause I ain't going nowhere. Thought he was conscious, but the hungry just behaving, bro. The house of consciousness.
All right, who gonna re-sing that hook?
Comes part of the semantic range in terms of being complete and full. And from complete full comes the word Kemet, the name of the country.
All right. So from complete and full comes Kemet, the name of the country. So that's his new stance. That's crazy, but he can mount that argument philologically because the term Kim complete will actually see this. He's adding this full to it. Let's see if I'm making that up. I'm just going off what I know, and I'm gonna prove it with sources. He adding that full to it. I'm not adding that full. Let's see. I'm just gonna put full. This is how we fact check and back check. No, I ain't gonna do full because I could get there quicker. I swear you gotta see what cats be doing. You won't be catching it because you don't know this material. You're not gonna catch that. And I'm just doing this live. I'm telling you, he added that, man. I tell you, I do this homework. He made that shit up. Excuse my language. Do it say full? Yes or no? Hold on. What's popping today? Hold on. Hello? Yo. Hello? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, man, we're hearing you good.
Oh, yeah, we hear you clearly.
All right, great. So look, am I wrong? Look at his definition in the video. He just put this full on there, bro. You got to know how to notice this stuff. Complete, because I know from the text, they never talking about filling nothing up when they talking about complete. All I would have to do to prove that to you is click this. First of all, you see it don't say full. Now, to complete, Kim Cott means to complete work. How you gonna fill up your work? It means to complete, to be finalized. He literally added to full on there. Now let's go to another source.
Smash, I think you're working on the second term, but you went over the first term, the first lemma there. You think?
Which one?
In the same little slide where I saw there where it had three different set of hieroglyphs and they pointing to the next one, they pointing to the next one. The first one now, yeah.
So
Sure.
I think he completely made this up.
But that is what I'm saying. You have to address that because so you saying it do have that combination of glyphs.
Well, we're going to look through more than just one source. See what I mean?
I know, but what I'm saying, you have to look for those combination of glyphs. You're saying that do occur
no, there's combinations of glyphs. Yeah, the combination appears. So this is what the difference is. When you see this papyrus roll behind the Kim, they want you to think of an intangible, abstract concept, like something you can't touch but you could do, like you know what I mean, like thinking, for instance, thought. You know, that's an intangible concept, and whenever they got even rising, sometimes would not even be characterized so much with a papyrus roll. That's why I'm like, we know if I show you to rise, that's not really in that same category of thought to the ancient Egyptians. Watch how I illustrate this. When I put to rise, not too many of them words is going to, I'm just going to go here and put rise. And none of the words, not too many of the words are going to end with a papyrus roll. Some will possibly, but you see, look, they're not ending with no damn papyrus roll because it's not rising to something that can physically happen. You see what I'm saying?
Listen. We saying to put those three exact glyphs. What does the TLA say that those three glyphs mean in combination?
So it mean Kim. So here's with these three exact glyphs. I'm gonna go right here and type the K and the M, and you're gonna be able to see it. So this is what I was looking at earlier. Look, just with the K and the M. Now you're gonna notice some of them will have. See, this one got a papyrus roll. Now notice how it means black. He's changing it. Look, I mean, everybody can see this. Now look, you see the papyrus roll. Remember what I said about intangible or a concept? You see what I'm saying? Like, you can touch a black person, but the color black ain't nothing you'll ever touch, or it's intangible. You see what I mean? Just like the blackness of the sky. You can wave your arms through it, but these are why we get these certain type of papyrus rolls at certain instances. But everyone can clearly see right here at this source, it ain't going further to length. And this source is actually the word of bush, and it's telling you where to find it in the German work. And so
The one under it's not the same one that he used for Philip. The one that says people there. It's not the same hieroglyphs.
Now notice this. We only got the I6, which is this Kim. This is a different version of an M, but they put this circle, which represents the pupil right here, to give us an indication of that right there. You see what I mean? And so
I'm saying one of us other examples. I think the one to complete is that same with the people, is it not?
So let's go down to the complete papyrus roll. Now, this is what Sandro Capo-Chichi pointed out. If we only had these instances, it would be very hard for us to distinguish between when they was talking about blackness and when they was talking about completion. But luckily, we got instances where they literally put the hair glyph there to let us know they was talking about blackness. But to keep in mind, none of these say feel so far. I haven't seen feel yet. You know what I'm saying? And I would like to know if I look, do you have your Vigus? If you could look, see if it says Phil in Vigus. That he just be making stuff up, bro. That's why I stopped debating dudes. When they fall off, you be like, look, bro, you just making stuff up now. So Kim mean the field. I mean, I'm looking in maybe I should go to the new TLA. They must have updated that. And I'm saying that facetiously. You just keep seeing
So
black, black, black on the screen, huh? Go ahead.
I'm seeing 72 entries in the Vegas for Phil, and I only going through fours yet. So I just letting you know that I'm looking at right now.
Normally you could type the KM and then put a space and then put Phil. And if it'll pop up, if it's there, it'll pop up. But you could test that out with a word like
Nothing written that.
You could put NTR and then put well, never mind. But I don't even know why I'm looking so long on this because I know Phil. Come on, bro. Now
So where's the glyphs to Phil? What show us?
So here goes some glyphs for Phil actually. And I just put the English word Phil in the TLA and it's gonna bring it back different options in the meta nature. Now, what I will do is this way is go to see if they have a K entry. But you see, a lot of these words are supposed to be leading to feeling something, to do, to stop to. And it ain't even just giving me the word like feel to the realm. If you think about even that word to fulfill a wish, but I don't even see nothing. I'm not gonna ponder on that for too long because it's not here, and when stuff ain't there, people wasting your lifetime. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, if he come back with a source like, look, go look, I got all the Egyptian dictionaries, not at this house, but I got them. So let me see if I could just go grab some other. So I'm just doing this my way, and what I'm doing is simply looking, and I that's all of them. So none of them even go and got a K at the beginning of them. No word to fill has a K at the beginning of it. It's from this text corpus. Now, if my Vigus, you looking through the Vigus right now. So let's keep listening. So this to rise to feel, he just completely made that up.
Pause.
Go ahead.
Now you gotta go back to Asa's presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so the one on the right hand side underneath the StreamYard duck, you're saying to complete out a full. I'm saying the attestation for the pupil beside the little circle, is that not the same amount, the same hieroglyphs that we were watching?
But and to be fair to him, he didn't put a determinative here. So it's kind of noticed that too. So he kind of like it's just being slick again. Because he didn't put no classifier on this term, which we know that leaves it the most ambiguous. You see what I mean? Maybe that was just done by some mistake, but you can see clear to complete is going to have a classifier, and the classifier most likely going to be a papyrus roll, because even completion is something that you can't touch. So watch this. KM, I need to check on these movers real quick.
People.
So notice, let's look at the complete window. Translate to English. Complete papyrus roll. And let's find the one with the M like you just cited out. Here's another completion with the papyrus roll, and which was the word that you had talked about before? It was up here, pupil. But now again, we can find Kim written with that word in some people's names too. Just 1 second, let me go help these people. If y'all want to build on it, feel free.
Well, go on, Farai.
Yeah, man, blessed idea. I want to know, because I highly doubt any man gonna just put the full set of glyphs onto his slide and he ain't have no reference for it, you know. So I would think the first thing to do is to get to the bottom of where's the reference. We're making that say to rise out of full. They're gonna say.
Well, actually joined this live stream when he was streaming to ask him a similar question. Basically, if he could show us the primary attestations where he got those versions of the chem that he was explaining from. And unless I misunderstood, he basically said the sources in my book. So buy my book and you'll see the citations, which is not a problem. But
Mm.
I ain't buy the book, so I don't know either.
Yeah, well, it becomes problematic when you ask for a source and you say it's in my book, because your explanation of why you use the source is why we buy the book. But if somebody just asks for a source to see if you 100, you should just whip that out.
So, Smash, you
What, what,
saying at the start of when the man started to present those slides, he ain't give no, he just put that up on the screen. It,
Yeah.
if you click back 2 minutes, 3 minutes before this, right now on the timeline there, you ain't going and see where he bringing that term.
wait, hold up
Nah.
a second. Just for the sake of not misrepresenting the brother Asa Imhotep, he did go through a list of citations. He pulled up his book when I was questioning him about it. He just didn't slow down enough to distinguish whether or not the particular chemets that the particular chems which were under scrutiny as meaning something other than black. He didn't slow down long enough for me to see what the sources for those individual attestations were. But he did show sources at the time.
Well, you're looking through one source. We're fact checking live, so it could work in his favor, or if he's not being honest, it will only work against him. So what we doing could be proving that he 100, but it's not doing that. You know what I'm saying? We looking to see where he got this from, and in one of the most now you can find plenty of other dictionaries, but the second one I'm trying to pull up keep closing out on me. Maybe I'll re-download it or update my Adobe or something. I don't know.
May I
Adobe.
interject something, my brother?
Yes, sir.
I can't hear you.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can hear me?
It's interesting that, yeah, I can hear you. It's interesting that we going over this because I was just revisiting one of his works, where in which he combined some studies that was done in Tanzania as it relates to the word Kemet, and that study concluded that the word Kemet is formed based upon a gluttonation, meaning a combination of ka, uma, and another word, and it translates to be the black land. So you can pull this up if you type in Google right now, a gluttonative morphology, Asar Imhotep, you will pull up the article where in which he quoted from this source in Tanzania, where in which he supported that claim that it means the black land. But what's important about that is the fact that he's quoting from a source on the continent using Bantu morphological processes to substantiate that point. So what's interesting is now he's deviating from that. When you go into Arabic, I was contesting with a Moroccan sister about the meaning of the word kam the other day, and she trying to deny it has anything to do with black. So she quoted from an Islamic scholar, and when they broke down the ka, it implies heat. So when you go into even the Bible, Psalms 19, verse 7, you will see the word kama, which is coming from kam, which implies the light spectrum. And common sense, when the light spectrum come in contact with a eumelanin person, what's going to happen? Especially infrared radiation. They say 42% of the sunlight is infrared. What is going to happen? You're going to get dark.
Exactly.
So Arabic is supporting this. Hebrew is supporting this. The
Metal Nets will say that too. I got the primaries on that. We could go to the hymn to the sun. The main reason why a lot of the reason why they was singing to the sun was because what he did for their skin.
There you go.
And we got those lines. You feel me? And
Absolutely.
he even say that they even praised the sun for distinguishing between the colors of other people. So they like, look, you make us hella black, basically. Like we love you for that. And so they was, but what I want to be noted here is our brother needs to show which source he used to say, first of all, we didn't find this Kim to rise yet. And I know that he's a researcher, so maybe, I'm not going to take it away from him. But if I had the discourse, he'd find it somewhere. but it's not in the qualified sources that we use. Did you find it in the Vegas yet?
Yeah, no, I found a lot of versions of Phil, but no Kim. I think there was a lot of
Yeah.
Sebka or something like that, and some mess and some nothing looking like him at all.
Yeah, he just made that up. So he made
That
that up
part.
in order to come to his own conclusion. And notice this Kimmy he got down here, he also has with this unique rendering that can only be found like maybe once or twice in the annals of Kemet. But let's let him keep on
And with
messing this up.
an abundance of water and vegetation, grass and vegetation. Another way you can say it is a riparian land. Derives from a word meaning to rise or to feel. And then it becomes part of the semantic range in terms of being complete and full.
Now let me give y'all the true
And
knowledge
from-
on that. With using the TLA. Again, look, we're gonna really do the knowledge on Kim, and anybody can take this data. This is data, right? You want more updated data, you can go to the TLA too, and they might update this a little bit. But watch this, Kim, right? So he said that the order of progression of the word came from the rise of the field. Well, we can't find to rise of the field to do no textual survey on it. But let's look at complete. And when you look at complete, what you're gonna find? There's 52 attestations in the text corpus for this form of completion. It's gonna go back to the Old Kingdom. Look, no, this is going to the Middle Kingdom, bro. Oh my God! But the other one will go to the Old Kingdom. So this one, to make something complete, is on the same damn stela. Now this is the stela of Mentuhotep. We got complete on there, right? Well, let's watch this. We want to look at the other version of complete. This one should go back to the Old Kingdom. It's 14. Excuse me. All right. This one is also starting at the Middle Kingdom at another time. Papyrus, the Eloquent Farmer. It's gonna be another version. I know it's one that go into the Old Kingdom but right there, this is beating the brakes off what he's saying because this ain't even before the other Kim word. But I need to find. I seen one that go back into the Old Kingdom before, so I gotta give him his credit for that. Let me find it though. But what if people ain't understanding what this means? Is he's saying one word was there, then it developed into another word. You see what I mean? But in actuality, we got attestations for both of these words about the same dynasty.
Pause smash in the middle of the screen. Wait, well, actually at the top. Okay, in the middle now. Kemi, right underneath your mouse.
Oh.
Oh well, yeah, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. Remember, you told me that it would have been Seshi Kem to say the black scribe. How come they have the nisbation on the Kem in this attestation? So it's a tangent. I noticed it.
Oh yeah, they put the nisbation to say that he's the black one. You see how they put one after black? So they put the nis with the two reed leaves of people trying to peep to. It means one basically. So if you got a word like fat and you see these two reed leaves, he'd be the fat one. You know what I'm saying? And so if he was black, which Kim means black, and they put these two reed leaves, then he's the black one.
All right, cool.
You know what I'm saying?
But hold on. When we finish this, what did he call it? Philology. I'll have another philological study for you to do that. I try to source all of the pages in the Vegas already, so you don't have too much work to do. I'm just gonna send you to the pages, but I want to do this live. Challenging of a particular word.
Now, word up. Now, this the one that's going. Now, notice this. When we looked at both of those Kims to complete, we stopped at the Middle Kingdom. But watch this. I knew one go back to the Old Kingdom. Look at this one. Kemet completion. Notice it don't say to feel. He made that up. It says a final account. Now, I told people Kemet is related to accounting. So in this one, they put 3 strokes of plurality behind the papyrus roll to let us know this intangible concept is going to be consistent. Isn't counting intangible? Like you never touch numbers. You ever tripped off that? It's so many things we deal with that we understand that we just can't touch. And a lot of the times when dealing with that, we'll see this papyrus roll. Intangible concept, completion in the sense of a final account. You can touch what you're counting, but those numbers are intangible. But anyway, when we click into this, it's going to go into the Old Kingdom. And notice it's the most used, well, it's used more than the other 2. Now this should go, see, Old Kingdom. So now this is what I be having to buy them. This is why I be having to buy facsimiles and stuff. Because they said this was Kemet, meaning completely paid, a total account. See, this is why dudes are pseudo. He don't even know that the Kim for to fill, which don't exist, but the Kim for completing, it's about accounting, y'all. I keep saying that Egypt had they created accounting. And look at this. When we look through these documents, Kim mean you got your paper. I tried to tell people, see, this is how I was going to beat Domo up. Kim literally mean you got your paper. Now tell me I'm wrong right here. Completely paid. I know I'm not going off the subject. I'm showing y'all how one error illustrates something majestic and proper. Because I was telling Domo, I said Kemet was about their paper more than anything else. And he challenged me on that because he said I was mixing it with modern capitalism. But you see, if they said that Kim meant something other than black, they got to refer to what the sources say. Get your paper, a full account. It means a full account. So he was fully paid, a priest, the head of the magazine administration, Uri. He got his bread. Now, if they're not talking about you getting your bread, they're going to end the document, like I said, that's all, folks. That normally occurs in late Egyptian, where they put Kim at the end of a document like that's all, folks. But he thought it meant full. Look, total of those paid in full. He literally is trying to take this fully paid. Oh, I can see how cats be tampering now. Because you can see the word full popping up and you fully getting your bread. But if I'm lying, then let's see when Kim can pop up when they ain't. Look, an actual inventory. See, they're counting these units. So they're using Kemet there as an account. That would mean that you stupid if you think the nation got something to do with accounting. It don't make no sense. It's like, oh, okay, this is why we look at text to know. And you can beat somebody up just with what's on the screen. It's more information than they give you.
I think we kind of strain off for the central, the crux of the whole matter. The crux of what Asar Imhotep be saying is that Kemet mean the land, riparian land or arable land or whatever. I think we seeing that in the TLA. We seeing that in the TLA. But
yeah, we kind of went over that, but think about it. Because I showed that earlier, they had 2 attestations that agreed with him and 293 where it was just used to say our nation.
I know, but the other side of the argument, right, we're arguing against Asar Imhotep is that Kemet means the land of black people. Yeah, that is the central. That is the argument.
That will unfold later in this discourse, and what we'll learn is once we get to that point is it is not just like it's not outside of the semantic range of the term to mean black people.
I had no problem with that, but what I'm saying is where in the TLA they given Kemet to mean the black people.
All right, I can show you. We just was looking at one. So they try to avoid it, right? And they avoid it harshly, but we can use our grammar to work this out. Now look at this right here. One, you know, one means a person, right? So when I say if one knocks at your door, you know, or sometimes we use one as a pronoun that is less general. So you don't have to say you or anything, but one is a person. So in this instance, they're talking about deity, right? Osiris or Mem. And right here, they're using Kim. His name is Kim E because he's singular. And they're saying black one, or literally, if this was a generic term and not a you know, what's it called when they forget it. If this was a generic term, what's the word when it's independent? Not independent, but it's I can't remember. Indefinite. If this was an indefinite use of the nisba, it could just be any generic black one or black person. But it's not indefinite. They're literally talking about Osiris, so they call him like the black one, definitely to distinguish him from other deity. But clearly you can see they got a Kim and they put a Y behind it, and they put the hair. This attestation make people mad because when they try to act like it ain't about the color, they have to stay away from this one because they put the hair here, which lets us know they're literally talking about the color. You see what I'm saying? And so now to be fair to you, I only showed this in preamble because this is only one person. To make this a group of people, you simply add a W. So this would be Kimiu because they didn't put the T because they're just simply talking about black. And so the question is, would Kemet TU, the T, the Y, and the U is all we'll be dealing with in suffix to indicate different types of groups of people in that regard. The T sometimes might feminize it or it might relate it to a place. The Y is what we see these double reed leaves. It puts the one there. But if you put a W behind the Y, it changes the one to a group. See? So now if this
But
says
I have a little small question for you quickly. You see, like how you're saying, the Y is singular, W is plural. Use do they have occasions where,
right
like
here.
what you're saying, it have Y and U, and it meaning
So
like it
look.
have Y and U as the suffix?
So look, it's right here. And so notice what we want you to notice. The grammatical inconsistency is them not allowing this to say black people. All we got the same term here with a T. This is representative by a Y, and transliteration is a J, but it represents the Y. And we have a W, which gives it the plurality. So now we know why they're not saying an Egyptian one. They're not saying a black one. They saying Egyptians. But they ain't telling you at the root of this term you have blackness. And others are saying trying to take that root away. You see what I mean? Others is like, well, that don't mean black. But we clearly seeing that the source material they standing on to say it don't mean black don't even exist. Like they just making stuff up. Then you see cognate terms that are cognate with blackness, like the pupil. See what I mean? Why would a pupil have the same root? Is because of the blackness. But what they do is they dismarry, they divorce blackness from the term when they just say Egyptians. But watch them not do that in other instances. Keep going. Go ahead.
I hear what you're saying, but it come like we in a kind of position then because we be using the TLA to as a reference to verify and check information. But then it seems like when it's saying something like how it's saying Egyptians there
Well,
instead
yeah,
of saying
I
the
hear
black
that
ones
contention.
or the black people.
I hear your phone messed up, so I had to kind of guess what you're saying. No, but I hear what you're saying, but you have to deal with this. if we can point out inconsistencies that you, even in your own brain, could qualify, like for instance, Egyptians, people try to ignore this, but this word came to us from the Greeks in Homerian Greek, right? But this word was there in the 6th dynasty. So you telling me your level of scholarship, I know you astute man, you accept this as what this meant in the
No,
6th
that's
dynasty?
what that is not really about what I accept. The point I was making is almost in your what qualificating things in your mind, and because one instant you'd be using the TLA to disprove the notions of, let me say, Asar Imhotep, but then in the next instance, when it not saying what would basically what it should indicate that it would say, then you're saying, well, they're getting it wrong now. You understand what I mean? So
Well, I think you jumping the gun on that, but I hear the angle you're trying to take, but you have to look at the process we're arriving at. We looked at one person's set of data and it was not there completely. You see? He said to fill, and that was absent from the data set.
I know, but we kind of went over that. We bypassed the first set of glyphs, right? But and we reached to the point where basically the final statement of what I started trying to show is riparian land, arable land, that kind of irrigated land, that notion. And then we saying them Egyptologists who create the TLA, they also give it that same notion.
Mhm.
And basically, is our African scholars that put forward, like Shikanta Diop put forward the Kemet meaning land of black people, and Kemetiu meaning the black peoples. You know what I mean? So it come like
Hold on one
that.
second.
That is the crux.
Hold on one second. Yo.
Set Imhotep. Yeah, you understand what I'm trying to say there?
I mean, I think so. I don't know if I necessarily agree with you, because I think what Smash is saying is that he's doing philological, like I say, surveys of how the terms are being used now, boys. So, like, I think like one of the claims that he makes is that it is not outside of the semantic range of Kemetiu to mean black people because of the way that the Egyptians used nisbation on colors. And at least I'm convinced by the argument, regardless of whether or not it actually did mean that and they ever did use it like that. The grammar seems to indicate that it can mean that. So yeah, hearing what you're saying, I don't know if I necessarily agree with you, but maybe I missed something.
Yeah, well, I just saying it just kind of it logically inconsistent to be using the TLA as a proof then for certain things, but then but when it proven certain things outside of your narrative, then it incorrect, or it is not really it's not up to par. You understand?
Maybe I bias, but I don't know if we can really put that at Smash's feet, for the sake that, for the reason, sorry, that he, at least in my experience, tends to go through as many of the attestations of a particular term as possible, before making a conclusion of what that term seems to mean. So in the case of Asa Imhotep on this particular presentation, it would seem that some of them would have agreed with, would have agreed in in some parts, shouldn't say small part, with the brother Asa Imhotep, but there would have been magnitude of 100 more that disagreed with that assertion now. So to I watched Imhotep's live stream. I don't remember everything, but it seemed to me that he was suggesting that the original meaning of Kem was to rise, and that all the subsequent meanings of Kem derived from that original to rise meaning. And if we're not seeing that
Yeah. You don't even
represented
go
in,
past that. Why would you go past that? Don't mute yourself. I'm supporting what you're saying. And I'm asking, when you falsify something and something get falsified that early in your analysis, you toss it out. Like at least I do. I'm like, this already a lie. If he's saying this is based on a word,
Smash, you know what the question we would need to ask then? If we accept, if we're gonna accept that Asar etymology from to rise and things that we say that that's false, right? Then
well, we haven't found it yet at this point. I would give him
no,
some credit,
I'm
but he
saying
might got some book
we're
that
gonna
say
put out that we're gonna say that it's false, right? But I'm
yeah,
saying
Hypothetically.
yeah.
hypothetically we saying
So
it false.
far.
And then we say no. So what information the people that put the two attestations for it to mean arable land, how did they derive at that understanding for the term then?
Well, you want to know what?
Completely independent of Asara.
Even when we looked at those two, you won't be able to say, you won't be able to answer that question. Here's the attestation, 2 attestations. And you can know that the TLA is separate groups of bodies of scholars who come up together to complete these translations. Now, let me ask you, if you wanted to go into a court and argue that you can prove that in this attestation, where it says leader of the black lands and leader of the red lands, that they're talking about arable land right there. That's
Well,
what
really and
you
truly,
wouldn't even get
I
out of a
find
high
it
school class.
Hold on,
I
Smash.
find it convincing, because when you really, if you look at Egypt land, you would really see that the river is really run through the desert, and all the occupied places is really on the banks of the river now. So it come like, if you're not close to the banks of the river, you're out in the desert somewhere where it has nothing going on. You understand?
No, address. I don't know what was that to address what we just read on the screen? Because
I do kind of want to
Yeah,
support that, Uncle.
that's to address that. That's to address that, because
no,
they will
this
say,
says the leader of the black lands. This is talk. Let's go into the text. And you
right.
show me how you can extract that they're talking about riparian land here.
All right, well, it coming in. Okay, so the red land, that's not Desher. Deseret, then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So in your brain, using common sense, if the red land is dry, right, then the black land, as being opposed or diametrically opposed to the dry land, would be what?
No, that's not true.
No, hold up,
That's only
Smash.
at one part of the year. That listen. That's after the inundation, when the land is wet and arable. It's not all year like that. They wait for this point in time. Have you
The
noticed that?
delta, that is where the delta might be waiting on the inundation, but the river is be present at all points in time.
Smash,
Yeah,
are
but
you
the river.
suggesting that they couldn't plant? Are you suggesting that they couldn't plant on the riverbanks outside of the flood season?
No, that I don't know. I
No,
didn't
Smash.
suggest
No,
that at all.
not you, not you, Uncle. Smash are asking that. Are you
Oh, what you
suggesting that they
say?
could
What
not?
you say?
Are you suggesting that they could not plant on the riverbanks, or the land on the riverbanks was unsuitable for farming outside of the flood season? Is that what you're suggesting?
I'm somewhat suggesting that. Do you know about harvest and stuff and natural astrology? It's times when you just can't plant stuff. You know what I'm saying? And
But
it don't grow.
Well,
as
I live
far as
in
I
Trinidad, though.
understand, the inundation and whatnot is really the delta up by Alexandria and thing there is what used to wait on that now.
No, that's
Because
not true. That's not true. The
well, here what
inundation will happen well down in the Kemet. And so
I know,
here's a
but here what I'm
story
saying,
called,
it was is one river stream up until the delta, when it is turned into various various smaller streams then.
well, what
So
does that
that
have to
whole
do with this? You're trying to make this attestation on the screen say something about riparian land. We can't go too far off on a tangent.
no, we're not tangenting, man. It's saying they're the leader of the black lands and the red lands. And what we're talking about is what is the red lands and what is the black lands. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I know. And the text don't define it. He say he's the leader of the black lands and the red lands. So now we're saying it means he's the leader of the riparian land and the desert. I wouldn't be mad to take it as that, but that's not what it say.
All
Like
right, but
it
click
ain't
on
what
But
it
it.
say.
hold
You
on,
see?
but Smash. It do not say that. The only like pushback I have, the only support offering Brother Ankoma in this respect is that it doesn't not say that. The contrast
So you
that
got to
it
look
gives
at
us
the
here,
context of the text,
right? But so the
right?
context that specifically before it speaks about the two banks, he's a potentate, which is just a power on the two banks, and
The
I'm
two
suggesting that
banks
it does.
is just Egypt.
Yeah, but as in the two banks of the river, two river banks, yeah,
Of the
two
river,
sides of the river,
of the river, which is
yeah, the two sides of the
which is
river,
irrigated.
Yeah. And now, so we
right?
got one divisions of his rule right there, right? He's a
Hmm.
potentate on the two banks. Now we got
Right.
another division of his rule: a leader of the black land and a leader of the red land.
Pause.
I'm
A
not
leader
listen.
of
I'm not.
arable land and a leader of
The
non-arable
Nah,
land.
desert.
y'all fucking that up completely.
No,
No,
It's
no,
not.
but
I'm not
slow
This
saying
down,
that
don't
it
slow,
got
does.
shit
Smart.
to do
Hold on,
with
hold on.
arable blood. Y'all messing that up 100%. They're not talking about no damn arable land. They're just saying all right, put it this way.
Oh no,
Let
hold
me
on.
give
So
you an
what you
analogy.
have to put out?
Let me just give you an analogy so you can
I
see
feel
it.
I go tangential it.
Hold
How
on,
you
let
just
me give you
answer
an
this one
analogy.
question
Don't
quick?
start talking when I ask you to let me give you an analogy. You gotta
All right, good.
hold your horses. It's called holding your horses. Then you whip them, and it's time to go. So hold your horses. Now let me give you an analogy. What if the black land is not arable? Would this statement still be able to be said?
I think that's a completely irrelevant
No,
analogy you're
no,
bringing in.
no, it
Yes or
would not.
no? Would
No,
the
it would not.
statement it would not the person would not be able to say he's the leader of the black land and the leader of the red land
Oh.
if the land
No,
was not arable? What are y'all doing?
So,
no,
all
no,
right,
no. I
smart.
thought you meant
All right,
if we,
answer my question now. Give me a second, they said. Give me a second. There's a simple question, right?
Mhm.
What do you say the black land and red lands in reference to? If it's not in reference to the desert land and the arable land, what do
Is a
you say
reference.
in reference to?
I say this is a reference to the distinction between the desert and the areas where they live at, where they can
Which
grow
the,
stuff, where they
the
can
areas which they
cultivate.
live in is grow stuff is arable land. That's the
Yeah,
that's the Kemet.
yeah, we not no, dude. See, that's why y'all confused. That's why y'all messing it up because you not redefining a term by so the areas. For instance, you trying to redefine a term by what you can do in that area, but that
hold on,
term is
smart.
not. Mhm.
I specifically not actually trying to redefine what chem means in this
We're
instance.
talking about
All I'm suggesting,
Kemet. We're talking about Kemet.
all I'm yeah, okay, Matt. All I'm suggesting is that in this particular instance, it is let me say it's not outside of the semantic range of the terms Kemet and Desheret in this particular contrast that they could be because you just said it yourself. They're talking about land where they live at and they grow
I
that
know
they
I don't
could grow stuff
disagree
at.
with that, but this is what I'm
Right.
trying to say. If you can take a text that has nothing to do with farming, gardening, any of the things, sowing seed, and just say, look, they have a distinction between black and red. So now Kim means riparian.
No,
You're
I'm not.
using
I ain't saying
that's
that
what
part.
y'all doing.
No,
That's
no,
what
the
y'all
last part.
that is
No, no,
complete. That's
no.
horrible methodology.
But that's not what I'm doing. So even if what I'm doing is actually herbal methodology, let me just get it out, right? I'm not suggesting that it actually means that Kemet means arable land, right? I'm actually saying what you were saying just a few seconds earlier. The place where they live at and the place where they could plant, regardless of whether or not it is arable at the particular time, is the place that they call Kemet. Is that not what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm not, and I don't. I mean, this is a stance to be maintained for a
R-
long time. Like we
right.
talked about this forever since the beginning. So
So
go
okay,
ahead.
so if the place where they live and the place where they could plant is called Kemet and the desert is called Tesheret, how is the distinction how were you not noticing that the black lands and the red lands are arable land and desert land? How were you not
No,
recognized?
no,
At least
no.
in this instance.
The
I'm not saying that
question
it
is
means
not.
that.
The question is not. I'm not recognizing it because you know that I manifested that first in this discussion, right? I was the first to point that out. Y'all was saying that it's just based. No, y'all saying that it's based on arable land and where you can't grow. And I'm saying no, it's based on black and red. Now, when we talk about the science, the black, you cannot separate blacks unless you do something like spread pesticides. You cannot separate the blackness of soil from arable land. This is what y'all trying to do, not y'all, but this is what those who say that this don't got nothing to do with the blackness is trying to do. They saying, so basically this translation to them is incorrect because Kim don't mean black, right?
Yeah, but so again,
Hold
I
on, no,
specifically ain't trying to say
you
nothing about black.
process that thought way too quick. Let's slow down again. You already want me to move on to what's in your head. Deal with what I'm asking you for a moment. In this analogy, they say that this don't mean black. Is that correct? Yes or no?
I don't know who's they,
No,
but I am
nobody
saying that
said
it
that,
don't
Asar in
mean
man.
black.
the riparian lands. Kemet
No,
don't
I
that
can't
mean
speak to
black.
them. I ain't saying it don't mean black. I'm
that
saying
Hold
that
on,
I
in
did,
this case,
they and all those
we're
say that.
analyzing this video.
They and all those say that, bro. I think you're misrepresenting what they're saying. They understand that
Where do
Chem
you see black on the screen?
in the KM this represent black.
He's saying it don't. I don't get this.
I know, but here, all right.
He's saying Kemet don't.
Here's where I just understand it a little different, and I mean, if it might help you. They saying it means black, yes, but
Hold
they
on.
saying that
Who is
black,
they? He is not saying it means black.
yes,
See?
but they saying it means black, but in terms of black meaning like the richness of the soil in that aspect.
yeah, hold on, hold on, Ankoma, and hold on, Smashed. I ain't saying what Ankoma saying, and I ain't saying what us are saying either. The only thing that I am saying to you, and you actually admitted it already, I think you think I'm coming from a different perspective. I'm saying that the particular attestation is making very clear distinction between arable land and non-arable land, regardless of whether, hold on, pause, regardless of whether or not.
I kind of agree with that, but I didn't agree with the way you just said that. I'm saying that the distinction, remember, I said it was between black land and red land. Here's
Yes,
something
but you
I
also
threw out
said
there. I
that the
pointed
black
out to
land.
you that black land is not always arable.
I know, but I ask you,
Y'all keep ignoring
I ask,
these things I'm saying.
no. But when
It's not all, and Seth, you addressed it. You said, are you saying that it's times in the year where they can't plant things in the black soil? And I said, yes.
Right. So I'm not okay. Once more, I am not asserting that Chem don't mean black, Kemet don't mean black. I'm not saying it means riparian or anything like that. I'm suggesting
But
in
I'm
this
not
particular.
analyzing what you talking about. I'm analyzing Asar Imhotep.
all right, well,
Yeah, so I'm
let me
saying
get a second there. I believe, because I just listen SR thing too, you know. Them do Chem means black, yes. But it have a understanding where the black is also referring to the soil. You understand? The black is the richness.
I'ma just tap out. I'ma just tap out of this one because this one ain't my fight.
Go ahead. Let's let Seth talk and then you talk. I'm just trying to be heard too because y'all misunderstanding me. And I'm like, hold on, I'm analyzing the SAR, and now y'all giving me other arguments to deal with. The fact is, black ain't in his dissertation nowhere. But y'all taking this black land from this attestation and connecting it to what he's saying. And he's saying that it don't mean black. So if you're going to do that, all you have to do is simply tell me what this means in his trend. What is this saying? So Mentuhotep said he's the leader of the riparian land and the area that you can't grow. That's bullshit. Excuse
I
my
don't
language.
step out to
All
this.
right, no,
I
but
don't step out to this fight because I not as
it's cool,
close
man.
to
I ask you what
I
you
not as
put
close to
forward, bro. Let me get this out. I ask you, Smash, what you put forward the leader of the Black Lands and the Red Lands in reference to.
Exactly that, bro. The black lands and the red lands. Like,
So you didn't have no further meaning than that. You just
no,
had to
they're
take it
not
as black.
talking about agriculture right now. Now, I could take you to text where they actually talking about that, and you will see the difference. But
No.
now,
But what I mean is this real simple. What do you say the Black Lands and Red Lands in reference to?
the black soil and the red soil. I'm the one who not dismarrying. See, it's a SAR who taking the blackness out of the soil and saying it don't mean that. It say black land right on the screen. It say the red land on the screen. Y'all telling me that from seeing that, I'm not ignorant to what y'all trying to say, but I don't want y'all to use y'all simpler logic to try to make a point. Because anyone can say, yeah, of course you can see that, but you ain't addressing the context of the text that's on the screen. This is one who listens to or judges a tribunal of 30. One who places fear, literally trembling in him amongst the foreigners, who claims for him the Bedouins, who pacifies the Asiatics. Then y'all gonna tell me they talking about some gardens and shit.
I think you need to read the thing in proper context, man. Stop trying to go for emotional kind of response.
I just did the most.
All right. The line above the black line
that I could do. A potent on the two banks. He's still talking about his power. How visceral. He's a potent on the two banks.
Potentate on the two banks of the river Nile.
The black land, they're not talking about no damn agriculture.
Two banks of what? The two banks of what?
That's the two banks is the name of Egypt at this time. Y'all don't even know that.
The two banks of what?
The two banks is the name of Egypt, dude. Look,
bro, you have to say it's of the river Nile. Is it two banks of the river Nile?
What does this say right here?
Smash. So the two banks is not in reference to the river. The two banks of the river.
Of course, it's the two banks of the river.
Right. So what we get. So how it hard for you to understand desert?
Why is it hard for you to acknowledge what I'm saying, but you want everything you saying acknowledged?
No, man. I acknowledge what you're saying.
The name of Egypt.
All right, and I say in the two banks is in reference to the river that running through the whole land of Egypt, right? And therefore, the desert is the desert, and Kemet is the land what close to the river, on the two banks of the river.
Huh? We don't disagree there, bro.
So, well, that's why I want to know. I don't even know what your disagreement with Assar is anymore, you know, because
that's not
the riparian land thing that you put forward.
That black ain't there in this term. What about this is you not getting? Assar don't got blackness nowhere in this presentation. Do you see that? We come to a term that say black and you say, oh, I see what Assar is saying.
All right, but I asked you, how was it that the other scholars who compiled the TLA came to the same final conclusion that Kemet means the black land and in brackets arable land? I want to ask you, how did they reach that conclusion differently from Assar etymological work that you say is false?
I cannot tell you, but I can tell you how you do data.
But that's not good enough answer to say you can't tell me because
I cannot tell you it's the best answer. You want me
to
make
well, if that's the best answer, then that right there.
Make up something right now?
No, I don't want you to make up nothing.
I can't tell you how they form their
conclusion. All right, well, I'm pointing out to you the lacuna in your information. Right, you have gaps and missing. Some like you have missing gaps in your information.
Their attestation, Aunt Coma. We're looking at the data that they use to form. See, this is the thing. You're not willing to be a scholar yourself.
I in university right now. We're talking about.
Well, why don't you look at the data they use to form their conclusion and you answer the question?
Well, that's what
how you tell me. Look at this. How did the TLA say that this means arable land? From using this data. That's what you have to do.
You're on the wrong page. You would have to go back. If you're being a truly honest scholar, you would have to go right there where it's arable land, click on it, boom, read the context of that now, and take a research from there. Not bringing up this.
No, dude. This is they got two attestations.
Right.
In the TLA. This is one of them. What are you talking about being honest?
No, as in, okay. Right here, look the next brother, right? Don't mind me two away from Trinidad. It's no team up thing. He's a different man from me. I never meet the brother before. You understand? A potentate of the two banks, the leader of the black lands and the red lands, right? I think everybody Would you admit that in Egypt they just call the desert part Desheret, and that the red land?
Well, you keep saying the same things over and over. I thought we made some clear conclusions and agreed on that. This is what you keep ignoring. Asar says the black, it don't mean black. Why do you keep ignoring that?
All right, but we not even on
All
Asar.
right, but me acknowledge that shit.
All right, I acknowledge it. And then I want to make a further statement. I'm making a further statement. All right, but when I acknowledge it, you have to give me a little space. How I go acknowledge it and you continue talking?
You've been badgering me about that this whole time, and I've been trying to get you to see, bruh. I keep putting this thing on the screen. I'm like, but he don't say black.
Hey yo, them people say it say black though. Them people say it say black though, no so? The TLA say it say black.
I don't disagree with none of that. It say black.
Right. Look, so when the TLA say it say black.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
When the TLA saying it say black, right? And then we come and I ask you the further question, how did they come to that conclusion? You say you don't know. So I say, well, how is it that the same thing with Asar saying riparian land, arable land, they come to the same conclusion, but you're saying that his etymology of it is leaving out black. That's exactly what we're saying.
You said that my knowledge was fugazi or insufficient or some shit.
No, I said you have lacuna in your information because when I asked you.
I don't know that term, so I took it as meaning fugazi or whatever. And I'm telling you the proper method to actually come to this conclusion.
Missing parts out of our text or something. It have missing areas in a text or on an inscription or something. It's called a lacuna, right? So all I was saying really and truly is if you say you don't know how them TLA people reach to the conclusion that Kemet means the black land in reference to the arable, the arability of it.
Any evidence that they use from the attestation that they cited to prove the such. And you should be able to deduce the same by using your own discernment and logic. We're reading it. We got the whole text right here.
And when we were reading it, and from my reading of it, we're talking about the two banks and then the black land and the red land. To me, that's sounding like they're talking about the river side and the desert side.
After that, they said upper and lower. They just divided Egypt up in multiple ways, saying that he run everything. Look now that you didn't conceded or you admitted that it was Asar didn't say black, and that's the whole crux of the issue.
No,
what contention are you maintaining?
I have no contention. What I'm saying is, all right, this
I'm
real
talking about what's being presented. You just said that I don't get it.
All right. Let me.
I'm diffused right now. Everything I was arguing about has been proven by you agreeing that the say black on the TLA, and Asar's argument is that it does not say black. Y'all
I know, but here, all right. Give me a second. I understand everything we say.
Got two attestations that say arable land, and I honestly told you I can't do that.
All right, easy now. Let me get a second. I'm telling you. What I'm asking you then is, Asar say Kemet mean riparian land. The TLA with two attestation say it mean arable land, right? You're saying that Asar's his etymology, what he building on to reach to that thing is incorrect or flawed. And then I ask you,
I would take it up. I mean, I beat the. You want to
accept that? We accept that.
You about to answer, huh? God damn, bro! You cannot ask a question and not let me not respond.
I ain't even finished the question. I ain't finished what I was saying. No, my brother.
You started responding to my answer to the question just right now.
Well, I still have a second part of the thing I wanted to say. I still have a second part of the thing.
Go right ahead.
All right. So the second part of it now is that the TLA people have come to the same meaning for the phrase, right? And what we had to investigate now is what is their etymological study, what they use to get that understanding for the word. That's all.
All right. Now, I tried to detail this to you before. I'm going to say it slower. Because we got different accents. Maybe I sound to you the way you sound to me.
Now I understand you fully because we just hear TV all the time.
I said this before. I'm just saying though. I'm not trying to. I don't want to. Let me change my tone. I don't even want to take on that. I told you this, in the condescensory stance about everything we're saying. But check this
Hey,
out.
you're safe,
Check
man.
this
Say
out.
what
So
you're
I did,
saying.
thank you. So check this out. We got 293 attestations where they say it don't got nothing to do with that, right? And we got 2 where they say it does. Now, if you was doing a statistical or a data survey and you had to tell somebody what it means, what are you going to say? You see how easy that is? If you got 293 attestations that say it just means one thing, and you can't even start doing data with 2. You know that, right? You have to have 3. You cannot start doing no type of look, I'm proving something with 2 attestations. You have to have 3 to start forming a pattern because 2 doesn't form patterns. So I'm asking you a simple question, Ankoma.
I'm
If you
listening.
got
What's the question?
293 attestations that say it means one thing, and you have 2 attestations that says it means another, doing statistics, what does it mean? The one that the 293 attestations say or the 2 attestations?
It would be the 293. But hey, what happened? You're bringing us through these things very remedially. That's not what being said, right? Asking the scholars that put in Kemet to mean arable land, how they come to that conclusion, right? And like that is the point of it. And why it not saying Kemet meaning land of black in reference to the people, and Kemet in reference to land of black peoples. And what we're saying is, I ain't the Pan African black side of things, so I had no problem with Kemet, or if we really show that this really mean the land of the blacks and all of this. But what I realize is not even contrary or taken away from the black race or none of that to understand that Kemet could be in reference to the richness of the soil around the 2 banks of the
Man,
Nile and them thing.
in
It don't
my
take away.
I agree, bro. And if you, I know you've been on my show before, and you may be aware of my ultimate discourse. You know, I'm saying these people who divorce the blackness from it, and Sandro Capo Chichi says, well, let's be clear. Asar and them says it don't got nothing to do with black, not soil or people.
Well, they put a little pin in it because to put a little pin in it because what I'm saying is now with all them 20, who's that echoing there? What I'm saying now? I'm saying with the 293 attestations of Chem, right? You saying that Asar can't see those? He can't see those with the eye.
He's seen them all. He's a astute researcher. He knows it's only 2 that support this claim. He know you need at least 3 to start developing patterns. And he know the opposite side got 293 where it just mean our country, our nation. Now even in his let's say this is one that's like this is my thing. No agriculturalist separates the blackness of the soil from arable land. So whenever you saying black soil, you literally saying that. We all know that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you like right now in modern, not geology, whatever, in modern agriculture, black soil is still a thing. You know, we make compost now, and we
Well,
make
well,
sure
well, you're
black
talking to agriculture, man. So I know that full
yeah, I
well.
know you know that. And so I'm not the one dismarrying that. This is what Sandro Capo Chichi went on the show, is that people do relate the color of their land with their somewhat story by always being made from this clay. In both traditions, let me ask you a question. See, I'm not even fighting. Asard lost a long time ago to me on this. I'm trying to get y'all to understand why. Because if we get on the stage and you got two sources and I got 293, you lightweight gonna look stupid. But again, the blackness, I don't know, somebody can take the floor. I feel like I'm a filibuster.
I think we reach the same place in the talk, right? The blackness is in reference to the richness of the soil and XYZ. And yeah, like the semantic understanding of chem meaning black in reference to the soil and thing. We all on the same page. You understand? The only thing we're hearing in your conversation why I can't really speak to is that you're saying that Asar Imhotep totally divorce the phrase chem from meaning black, and I don't even think that he does do that. Cause listen to the brother, so you would have to. Well, that's just waiting.
It don't mean black at all. The whole look at the title of the video.
No, hold on, Smash.
Kemet is not black.
Hold on. That title was Kalam being a clickbaiter. He admitted that already. That's the bit. Yeah. Secondly, I think you kind of said that you didn't watch the whole stream. He doesn't say, if I remember correctly, that there is no attestation of chem, which means black. I think what he's asserting is that Kemet does not mean black, and it is in reference to the black soil. And that is the distinction I have. That's why I'm separating myself from. That's why I kind of stayed out of the argument in the first place, because I realized I'm much further from Asar's argument, let's say, than the brother Ankoma Jed is. I was only saying to you, brother Smash, that in this particular instance, it doesn't, the distinction that they're making and the comparison that they're making between the red and the black lands doesn't negate, to me, an interpretation of that as arable and non-arable lands. Not all.
It don't to me either. It never did to me.
Do me one favor and pull the second attestation up now.
Well, hold on though, because we got to look at this, because this keep on being what I told y'all. You was messing these two banks up. Now look.
All right, go ahead.
It says, a companion of Horus in the place of the palace, one who trusted of his lord, to whom secrets matter or who are told. His trustful in front of the two banks.
He's trusted one in front of the two banks.
One in front of the two banks. Now look, they not. If you think that they talking about he trusted when he's standing at the beach, the two banks is a way that they say Egypt, the whole collective name of Egypt at the time. See, that's what I'm saying. So y'all would be like, so there's not sand on the two banks? And I'm like, bro, that's not what they talking about. Yeah, it's sand on the two banks, but the two banks is used to say Egypt. This is the same thing that we're doing with the riparian land thing. Yeah, the soil is black. I mean, yeah, it's arable. Yeah, it's cultivatable. But they also use this term for the blackness to say other things. But what's up? I see Suntan and King Jaden popped in the building.
What's going on, Smash?
Peace. Just banging. Shout out to y'all for making the show intense. You know.
Can I say something real quick?
What's up?
Hey, Smash. Do we not listen, or do we not add nothing to what Ivan Bar Sertima said? Because remember I told you I was going to start doing some reading. I started with Ivan Bar Sertima. Do we discount him?
Some people do. It depends on what subject matter he building on.
He was building on just what you talking about now. That's why it's real funny to me, man. He was just building on the all the attestations and all the things that's saying that the it was black, and he said the land was black also, but he was saying that
you breaking up, Chief. You breaking up real bad.
That's why I was asking you that.
You breaking up real bad.
Hey, you breaking up. But look, he asked me to pull up the other attestation on Coma, and just like I said, these is two of the worst attestations anyone could use to ever say that Kemet.
Hey, yo, just read the thing. Don't give it no preamble. Just read it.
Oh, I'm giving it everything it deserves. Now check it out. Because look, it says, and as Suntan, it sounds like interruptions right now. It says, and as for the one who will protect this wording, which is recorded on this tablet of silver, be they Hittites, be they Egyptians, but they say that this Egyptians right here means cultivatable land. Are you going to use this in a debate against me to prove this is your only two sources you got to prove that this got something to do with cultivatable land? Show me
It's not
how.
Remech Kemet.
Hey, Smash, let me jump in real quick.
Damn it, right here. This
On
I
this, on
think.
this,
Remech Kemet.
on this.
No, hold on. Is
Oh,
yeah,
you
isn't it
talking about
Remech
what they
Kemet?
Hey,
put at
Revelation,
32?
And
They kind
actually,
of
hold
put that
on.
32.
Pause for a
Revelation.
second.
I
Remech.
Let me
seen that.
jump
Hold on.
in,
Pause.
I
Revelation,
tried
real
that
quick.
too, bro. I tried that too. That's black people, right? I'm talking to
No, no, no.
Set.
That's not even what I'm gonna say.
I thought that was Set
The,
talking.
it was before, but the Remech is actually the word, the philological word. I want us to do some dictionary searching. Well, it's not philological, but dictionary searching. But yeah, Kemet. I was just
Hey,
asking
This
if
is what
Remech
we
Smash,
Kemet
talking
is not
about.
the Egyptians. Yeah,
Real
I was
Smash,
quick.
let me,
asking if.
Let's not
Smash,
lose
let me.
our order. I'm gonna let you get in right quick, King Jay. Let's just let
Okay,
Set finish.
okay,
Peace. So this is what you're talking about right here. You said you wanted to do a survey on this turn.
Yeah, after we finish with the with what you're dealing with Asa, but yeah, I was noticing some stuff with Remech in the dictionary. But I was asked what I really pointed out though if Egyptians in this attestation is not Remech Kemet rather than just Kemet by itself.
Yeah, this is just Kemet. If it was Ramesh Kemet, that would be it would be turned around. Because this is say Ramesh and Kemet. And they got a 32 seeming that it might be separated. But
But
right here,
hold on. The Hittites is not the Khatiu.
but you're right, bro. Because this would have to be the
Yeah,
people of Egypt.
As
So
the
that lets
people
you
of
know.
Egypt.
That just proves what I'm saying again, man. Thank you, Seth. You just be like tossing me daggers. You like, hold up, though. Look, he just tossed me this arrow that
arrows,
I'm
bro.
about to cock this back and go ping right now. Look, if Kemet mean Egyptians, so this is the people of Egyptians. Well, what? I'll take that back. Kemet to
No
you,
man,
but look,
Remech
they
Kemet.
do. No, they're doing it. They're doing it right here.
Right? What he said now says that Remech Kemet means the Egyptians. That's all he said.
Man, they must. The way they doing this is very creative. I'm trying to tell you.
that's not right.
This is look. All right, so basically, it needs to be something connecting these two nouns. We got a place and we got people. You can't just run them together. You know what I'm saying? So it would be one would possess it. Kemet would possess these people, so we would see a need in front of this. It would
Hold on.
be.
Do you
Mhm.
think we should read through the sentence so that we could reach to the part where it have Hittites, and after they mention the Hittites, we will know what they're saying right after that?
Well, I kind of
Because
did it
I'm
too
assuming
fast.
the
Yeah, right. Go ahead. I kind of did it
I'm
too
ass-
fast, but just, go ahead. You're assuming?
yeah, sorry about interrupting. I'm assuming
No, go ahead.
the Katu is Hittites and then BV, etc.
Yeah.
So I
This
was
is Keta. That's gonna be the Keta. Cot. Let's click it. So
Yeah,
sit tight.
because the M in there is like and. No, so
So look. Yep.
much.
You right.
The M there is so that's in Hittites and Remech Kemet. Hittites
So
and Egyptians.
you be
That's what it's
studying.
saying.
So you be studying Ankoma. So you could clearly see that what I was trying to illustrate that this has to be separated because this M that's connecting the Hittites to the people let us know that this phrase is complete almost. You feel what I'm saying? Therefore, this might be starting with
Nah,
Kemet
nah,
or
nah.
whatever.
I think you're reading that bad. I think the M there conjoining the Hittites with the Remech Kemet.
That could be
yeah,
true too. But listen
I
to
think
what it
the
says.
WM.
Look at the
Hold on, I
translation.
think the WM is BV because you have the
Hey,
WM
Look,
in front of Hatu,
hey, Smash, let me
WM in
jump in
front of
real quick.
Remech
so
Kemetu.
basically, they trying to say that after this rematch is an or. Basically, look at how they translated it.
Or
Arcoma.
Nope, nope,
Be they
nope. You got that
Hittites.
wrong.
Pardon me.
I think you got that wrong. Look before Katu. It have a equal sign WM,
Uh huh.
right?
Uh
Right. I'm
huh.
saying that is BV. They're translating that as BD. I don't know if it's true. You can click it and find out. But I'm saying they're
Well,
translating
exist as it
BD,
says exist as they exist as. I can read it.
right?
So this
So it would
means
be they
to
exist
exist.
as Hatu.
See, this means to exist as. Like they just. This is a statement for existence. It's like a tense word. So keep going.
No, you
Keep
click the
going.
wrong one. You click the EU instead of the
Well, so let me explain to you what this says. This equals W is just obviously putting plurality onto that. You see? They, it's making it look, aren't all of these terms plural?
right.
Don't y'all forget I know this shit?
No,
So
I'm
what
not.
you're
I'm not.
looking
I'm
at
not
and trying
forgetting.
to figure out, I'm telling you, I'm not. I'm telling you what it say because I'm reading it, and then I'm clicking the dictionary to show you that I'm reading it correctly. You're telling me I clicked the wrong one. So which wrong one did I click?
Hey,
The
Smash.
EU
Revelation.
that you
Let me jump in
This
real
is the
quick,
word and
Smash.
this is the suffix. You know that, right?
Hey, yo, let me let King J say what you want to say and let me get back to
Hold
this
on. I gotta
etymology
get.
now.
We working something out so we can
I
get
know,
to
but the
it.
brother come on and he was say something and like, you know,
Let me
it
Oh
kind
yeah,
of.
that's true. But can we finish working this out and then he go right after that, please? Set. So I'm trying to figure out where we making our error so we can just bring this to a close. You see what I'm saying? We can start from the very
yeah.
beginning.
What are they translating into English as the phrase "be thee"? Let me ask that question.
Okay, so I think thank you. Be means to exist. That's what a being is. Okay, so that's what they're translating. Be they. Here go the they.
Click the thing.
I told you the they was right here.
All right. So if we continue reading that sentence, it says be they, and then it says M. So that's it. The M is like a conjoining article, and the JW equals W. Then the M. The M is like and or along with. Is that correct, Smash?
I'm sorry because what Seth was pointing out is making a very, that's why I don't want to bring this to a close so quick, but I'm with you, King J, but this we building. So Seth pointed out something very good. We just ain't finished probing it. Because just because look, he's saying this is they be they, which we agree that it is. Now look, now I got this like or this M right here as a predicate. Be they as Hittites. Now look at what it say. Then it say, be they as people Egyptian, or Egyptian people, or this would their translation would suffice. But here's the thing, y'all gotta remember that we came here because y'all, this is the second attestation to say this shit say something about repairing. See?
I ain't on that, bro. I ain't
This
on
is
that
that
repairing shit,
nitpicking
bro.
though. But I gotta be real though. This is what you call being anal and going off on a tangent and just trying to be right about something when we could just stop this probe and clearly see this don't say nothing about no arable land.
I don't think that be. I don't think there's being anal at all, man. Because there's not being anal at. Go ahead, King J. I will talk after.
I want to peace to the panel, and I appreciate everybody letting me chime in. Love being with Smash on this topic. Smash. When we see the word Egypt, is it more correct that word should be associated with not Kemet, not Kim.T, but Het Kapata? Het Kapata is the actual city state. Now, when I would so that word Egyptian is every time if we're transliterating it, it should be transliterated to Het Kapata, the city state, which was Memphis, not Kim.Kemet. To my understanding, Kemet didn't come along until maybe 11th dynasty, 12th dynasty, to where we actually see it, attestations of it on the wall and then, referencing it more, So earlier on, we would see that land referenced as Het Kapata, or when we look at the White Wall, when we were talking about Narmer going up there building the White Wall, and the temple for Ptah, they called that area the interior or the resident based upon that wall as an interior. Are you following me? Like,
Yeah. I'm right with
is later.
So, but one thing about that though, you're right about that, but you just remember that that either Hukapata is after Kemet. That was a building a center in well let's not say that. Let's say the name that the Greeks didn't get there until
Okay.
later, right? And so
Right.
by the time they got there, that was well after Kemet, is what I'm trying to say.
For sure.
Because and it was them who made that mistake of like all the Egyptians knew not to call the whole land one building in Memphis.
Okay.
You know, but since this building was so popular or prevalent to them, they called it that. And so I'm glad you brought that up. But I want to keep banging this out because coma, this is the second attestation that they will use to say that this term Kemet means riparian. But it ain't even it right now. They saying it mean Egyptians when you click into the attestation. So when you ask me a question like, how did the scholars come to the conclusion that this should be in the category of arable land, you should note that we can look at their data and see how that came to that conclusion. And if it ain't sufficient for our even novice or armchair knowledge, like you know that something is there. And so this is the point when I get to emailing and contacting these scholars and asking them these questions, and they always answer with oh. But to be clear, where can you show me, Ankoma, how this means arable land in this context?
No, I cannot. No, I can't. But what I'm saying is, are you saying now that are you falsifying that meaning for Kemet?
So I'm not necessarily qualified to, but I would contend against it against anyone. Now I'm to get this to be clear, I will contend against using these two attestations, right? I won't contend against you knowing blackness is a dude. I like to garden too. I make my own compost. You feel me? And I be putting weird stuff in my compost to see how the plant's gonna turn out. So I love black soil and I understand the richness of it, and I know it's married. So let's look at this because I accidentally stumbled on this article by Sandro, and it's very funny. Look at what it's called. And I read this a while ago. It's called Kemet, Black Soil and People. And I will share this article for y'all because it's one of the best breakdowns about how how it could be about the soil and the people at the same damn time, right? And so let's go see that.
Right.
This article. And this is what I argue. I don't be so mono. Hold on. Here comes some more delivery people. Hold on. Just a second.
Yeah, I think from where we reach right now in the whole conversation, we're gonna have to find out the people that work on this, put on these two particular texts, right? And basically follow up on where they get the connotation it mean arable land. You understand?
Is anybody else mic messing up?
No, just yours.
Okay, I must have to come out and come back in because y'all be sounding like robots for a minute.
I need a mic for sure.
But Santan, your song ain't good now, do you know?
Hey, I'm on my phone. That's why though.
But just say I might have to rock it on your phone because your song ain't good now.
Yeah, turn the sound down. Yeah.
No, he was saying you're sounding good, you sound okay.
Yeah, but when I hear y'all, y'all sound like robots after a minute. Smash, I couldn't understand nothing you were saying. But that's okay. I'll figure it out.
I think it's when more than one person is.
I can't really hear y'all that good like I want to.
Yeah, I think it's really when more than one person is speaking at the same time.
So,
But I really want to get
Revelation X, where you calling from? Revelation X, where you on the line from again?
say that one more time, brother.
I was asking where you from.
Oh, Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Repping, massive. Me and the brother and Coma chair.
Hey, Trinidad, come and taking over the conscious community now, man. Set them up on the team, you know. Respect.
Nah, I really want. Hopefully that there's time at the end of the show one smash.
King J.
Peace.
Would you discount Ivan Bashama?
It depends on the information. Just like, some things I don't found that Diop I don't agree with, like with his out of Africa theory. You know what I'm saying? Now he corrected the white people when they was trying to make, you know, everybody from Egypt white. He rightful with that, but just you just gotta go, you know, pick out, like you say, eat the meat and pick the bones out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't gonna be 100% right about everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's with anybody though, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I just read us earlier about what he was saying, and then I turned on and it was the same thing Van Sertima was.
And then now, like I noticed, they had limited information what they was rocking with. Like we got the benefit to, you know, look at everything they had, new information, new discoveries. You know, I'm not saying it was really true, but I looked yesterday, they found a new continent under the water. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
all type of new things and discoveries that is changing, you know, previous.
I'm gonna get ready to bring it to a
Let's
close.
Smash.
Hold on, but look, I gotta read this for y'all. Afternoon my time, I'll be getting off sign of the TV so he can do his thing. But he even tell you here, just note, Sandro told you. Now you don't have to take it from me. Look, in this specific case, in comparison with the white crown, the red crown has been described with the word Kim. He says most often translated as black, but which would therefore rather mean dark in this context. And he gave a source on that. So that's why the red crown is called Kim. But he gonna even hold on. He gonna even get better because this part I need to read. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have the AI read it. I got some AI points.
So
Right.
One thing I would like to say about what you're saying there, Smash. Why you think they would put Kem as the red crown, but then they have Desheret as red land? Why they wouldn't put Desheret as red crown?
No, so it's only called, and when we look into the text, it's only called Kim. When it's called Desheret, that's the name of it. But if you compare it to the white crown, it's darker. And Kim is a term to say darker, basically. Feel me?
So the word for Kim can allude to dark, not necessarily black.
And that's why we telling people it don't gotta be. Like for instance, let's look at this inscription. It's not just one Kim on this. It's not just one Kim on this fake reproduction. See, these people are Kim like black, right? But since number one is darker than number two, if you compare these two, you call number one Kim. And that's how that works. It means darker than. So sometimes people be thinking, oh, they wasn't all black. They just might have could have been darker than whoever they was relating themselves to when they was calling themselves Kim. But the fruit of this article is not in the pictures and stuff. It's in this statement that he put. But Black Earth and People in Egyptian. This is by Sandro Capo. Chi. Take a listen. And this is my stance on coma. And notice that my stance don't say that it don't mean that. Of course, it got something to do with cultivation, but you trying to redefine the term and say that that's the basis of what it meant. Nah, they took more about the blackness of the soil out of that than they did the ability to cultivate.
But careful, I'm not trying to redefine nothing. I accept Kem meaning black, and I accept brown soil, dark soil. I accept all of that. I think it's some real minutia. Is it that all you're kind of going over? Is it kind of, unless Asar Imhotep really trying to fully divorce Kem from black, which I don't think he's so bold to do that.
No, it's not.
Kemet from black. He's trying to divorce Kemet from black. He's definitely trying to do not Kim. He says there are Kim renderings, but this term Kemet isn't based on that, and he's just wrong with that. But let's break this down real quick because this is really good. If it does not confirm Darkonov's hypothesis on the pre-Semitic origin of this idea, what should I have went up earlier? Because y'all got to hear what he says. He say, man, the Semitic people do this all the time. Matter of fact, this is such a good read. I'm gonna open up the AI, man, and let the AI do it because I got movers in here and I don't want to really. So
how much time you have left after this?
I'll be stopping at the worst I could go is 1 o'clock, but so I don't be tripping. He'd say keep going if the set is popping. But I told him I'll be off by 4 o'clock most times. So 4 o'clock his time, 1 o'clock my time.
And what time is it for you now?
So we got. I mean, we could do at least an hour, but I got people walking around my house right now too, so I'm kind of doing too much.
The Red Earth and
All right,
Man
let's
in
listen. Can y'all hear
Semitic.
that yet?
Yeah.
All right, let's listen.
In his work on the prehistory of Semitic languages, Diakonoff, 1981-55, recalled the derivation of Semitic words for red, man, and earth from the same Proto-Semitic root *dm. He reported in particular that the Hebrew words Adam man, Adam at earth, red, and dm to be red are derived from it. In the other most famous Semitic language, Arabic, we find this root dm with the roots and words deemed to be brown, adim skin, Adam at human skin, Edom at hard ground, without stone. In agreement with the biblical account in which Adam, the first man, is created from the earth, Diakonoff explains that the etymological relationship between the red earth, man, and his skin comes from the fact that God would have created the human being from of the red earth, and that the first speakers of Semitic languages or their ancestors would have considered themselves to have red skin. The Russian linguist extends this self-identification of red, skin, people to ancient Egyptians. He first does so on a linguistic basis by claiming that the Semitic root, dm to be red, is related to the Egyptian word foreskin, jnm. He then does so based on representations of men in ancient Egyptian art, which he describes as red-brown. The ancient Egyptians, he said, would have considered themselves to be red-skinned, like the first speakers of the Semitic language. Diakonoff's hypothesis is problematic in many ways. The Semitic root *dm is probably not related to the Egyptian jnm skin. It is more likely related to the Egyptian jdmj red linen, Takach 1999, 120, nor is the idea of redness intrinsically associated with the Egyptian word ejnm. It is much more likely that the latter is related, for example, to the Berber *iei lim skin, for which the phonetic correspondences and the meaning make it a perfect parallel. Another problem is the following. In English, the color adjective used to refer to the skin of ancient Egyptian men is the same used to refer to the color of blood and bricks. These are red and reddish-brown. Diakonoff seems to assume that this was necessarily the case in ancient Egyptian. Several examples show that this was not always the case. In ancient Egypt, the crown of Upper Egypt was called HDT, traditionally called, while the red crown was called Diestart. These two terms referred to the white and red colors of the two crowns. In contexts comparing them, the red is presented as KMAT JMJT equals sign CNY, literally the darker KMT of the two crowns. KMT, the crowns of Upper and Lower Egypt. In this specific case, in comparison with the white crown, the red crown has been described with the word KM, most often translated as black, but which would therefore rather mean dark in this context. Gobes 2008, 159. Several researchers dealt with colors in the ancient Egyptian language. This is the case of Schenkel, 1963, 2007. Schenkel, 1963, notes that the word DSR, which is generally translated as rot in German, red in English, could also define realities that he would describe with the German term Gelbrot, red-orange in English, like the Egyptian desert, even Gelb, yellow in English. This author also notes that there was originally no term for German Gelb, yellow, in Egyptian. Similar things can be said, according to Schenkel, 1963, of the word KM, which he translates as Schwarz, black, but which can, according to him, also mean brown, brown, rot brown, red brown, dunkel, dark, or grau, gray. Interestingly, the only example that leads Schenkel to give KM the value of brown and rot brown is when it is applied to harvesters. Hennig's Wörterbuch, 2003, 1359, gives us more details on this meaning of the term KM. It is used before H3T forehead, the whole translating, according to Hennig, to brown-colored foreheads of laborious harvesters browned by the sun, equals sign, mit brauner Stirn, fleißiger sonnengebrannter Erntearbeiter. I follow Schenkel and Hanig translation of KM in this case as brown, but which of course could have as well as been translated by black without any prejudice
Hold
about the
on, though.
possibility of.
So did y'all hear what he just said right there?
For sure.
And the scholars who got work to say no, Kim just mean brown. So now what about these haters like they wasn't black? Look at the statue, it just mean brown. Well, we got
Hey, but
work.
you-
Go ahead.
I was gonna say what was funny was when he mentioned about the German and the Schwartz. I remember they used to reference Arnold Schwarzenegger as a dark, you know what I'm saying, as black, you know what I'm saying, as Schwartz. His name says it, right? Does his name allude to him being blacker, you know, a dark skinned German? Schwarzenegger, you know what I'm saying? The Schwartz in his name. Yes, I can.
All right. Boy. Y'all there? Oh, so look.
Yep.
Oh, he stopped. The audio stopped, so I ain't gonna really do. But what he was about to get to was, I need to just skip to that part. For some reason, when I gotta make this smaller real quick. What he's about to show is that in Semitic traditions, they did this. And man, I need to let it play because was it cool? Was y'all listening? Could y'all hear what he was saying? Let's just listen.
Ancient Egyptians having charcoal-like black skin, the reddish-brown color characteristic of the skin of Egyptian men in pharaonic art, mentioned by Diakonoff, and which he supposes would have been translated into the Egyptian language as a cognate of Semitic asterisk DM to be red, is in fact translated by the Egyptian KEM to be black. The latter is rather cognate within Semitic, with Syriac, Ukama black and Talmudic Hebrew, Ukam tilde, Ukama black, Takach, 1999, 219. Diakonoff points out that there is no red soil in Southwest Asia except in northern Anatolia, where Semitic has never been spoken. Yet it was very likely in Southwest Asia that Proto-Semitic emerged. On the other hand, in Africa, the color of the soil is typically red, with the exception of the Nile Valley, whose soil is black because of
Oh, it stopped. I've been running around. Look, I just hit their ass about 50 of them yesterday. So I got people moving. Not yesterday. I got stuff going on. I got a new location just for the fun part of it. And I'm about to go buy some accents. They just brought in this stupid fat sofa. This is how we do it, man. I'm over here chilling. That's why I look so rusty and crusty, because I've been doing my real life thing. I even got to check my fingernails every now and then because I'll be working. I get it in the dirt. But I like to thank y'all for making this good. I'm going to go buy me some accents because I want my daughter to see when she come home, be like, damn. I'm on my daddy hype. So that shut down all the Kemet right now. But look. Let me put it up there. Let me see if y'all appreciate the show, because I don't be getting no love. Let me put this up there. Support Smash
I'm
Rock.
gonna cash out.
Oh yeah, hey, that's so much love. I
Hey,
mean, but
Smash.
look, you coming to
Smash.
contribute. Let's just say something real quick. You coming on the panel and contributing. You can share your cash up too. I like I like your contribution.
Yeah.
Everybody, I'm just saying, everybody who make the show a thing, y'all already contributing. So shout out to you. Shout out to Suntan, Ankoma, and Set M Hotel.
Hey,
Yeah,
Smash. Before I
Well, Smash, I don't
Oh.
really have cash up on them thing, but I like the work and the content you just put out and whatnot, and I like to support you that
well,
way,
you're supporting right
But
now, but I'm helping make the show good. That's what I'm saying. So anything works. Let's hear from King J. What's up?
No, I'm just saying, Smash. Every time you on the show, bro, I always chime in. I love you. on the show. You know what I'm saying? You hosting it. I fuck with your show too. You know what I'm saying? So big ups.
Big up, Selects. Thank you. And I want to thank, I got to thank somebody for this cash app right now. M. Joseph, thank you. I appreciate you. Oh, damn. See, I ain't shaving for 2 weeks. I'm going to be looking like Barney Rebel. Don't even trip. From East Oakland, bro. I don't care. Hey, but on the real, I'm not get anybody else got anything to say? But I mean, I wish I could have did more on focusing on this, but right here when I got stuck, this is what I was telling you, said Imhotep, when I was watching the video. Like when I start seeing stuff like you say, Kemet mean the field, and then you about to base hella stuff on this prerequisite that you just set forward that ain't even true. It's just like the police. Once they catch you in that one lie, they just throwing you in the back of the car. You can say everything. I mean, you can say everything you want after that. But I'm like, nah, bro, this don't mean that. So why do I need to keep listening? And not to mention that he's a counterpart that I have. We've had this discourse at least over the past 10 years. So it's no hate, no spite. He got a new book on the subject. And just look, I'm like this. I'm about to buy a new bookshelf today, right? I might just do that because I think this room gonna be a study. And I will put y'all works on my bookshelf, right? I'm not no hater like that. I don't get in the way of nobody progress or support. Just don't go championing like that's that work. Because this gonna get told though that ain't that work. But I say you support, we a community, bro. Come on now. We can't be hating cats trying to get their issue. You got a book, buy the book. But don't tell nobody, scratch this page out, scratch that page out, write smiley faces on other pages, put emojis next to this emoji. Use the book how you want it. But I ain't hating on nobody work. And with that being said, I mean, I'm going to play one of these classic gems that we always play. First, before I roll, I want to look at the chat, see what y'all saying.
One thing I want to suggest for our future show, Smash, I want to suggest that we hunt down the people who do the translation, that get the attestation for Kemet to mean arable land, and do some further probing into how they come to that conclusion.
I wouldn't be mad at that. We could do that live. And here's the thing, though. When the data is so limited, I don't probe it. I looked at it, it's only 2 of them, and when you look at them, you can't even really see nothing. Like, I could show you better ones where they actually are referring to Kemet. In one instance, this dude had to go to Kemet to buy some food that was being grown there. This is from the Eloquent Pheasant. I would be using that attestation. I know about this to show, look, he lived in the dry land. He told his wife in the story, I'm going to Kemet. But notice something in that story, he already lived in the nation of Egypt. So he was going to some place like y'all talk about. So look, I'm not totally against it. What I'm talking about is statistically and with data, you're going to get overwhelmed by saying a term means something that you can only find 2 times being used that way. And then all throughout the history of Egypt, you find it being used the other way. So that's the more diplomatic way I mount my arguments, because they 98% wrong and they 2% right, basically. You know what I'm saying?
You planning to stream again for the day, Smash?
Yeah, I'm gonna come back again. I ain't got nothing to do. I just want to go buy some stuff and make my spot look more bossy. It's a cool little way.
I had to get at you with that room mesh dog. Because I don't understand the grammar, I might be making a real big mountain out of a molehill. But a few things that I saw in the dictionary have a feeling that is strange about that word. So I want to bring it to your life.
Yeah, well, we're gonna do that probably during my show, whatever show. But here's one thing. At the end of this video, we clearly read scholars who put forth attestations that show Kim could just mean brown. Right? So let's get off of because people got this thing about this black, bro. I don't know, man. I really wish I was black. Like, I really wish I was dark as some people. I'd be seeing like, damn, she could hide right in the, you know what I'm saying? Like at nightfall, she could just stand still and you would not see her. You've seen some people like that. And I'd be wishing I was that black. But I don't know why we got problems with it. But in closing, I'll just say we just put forth 2 attestations that said it was brown. Don't that help, some people who can't understand why they drew themselves brown on the wall but called themselves Kim?
We can't work with that. We can't work with that because it's only 2 data points. You understand? Can't do no stats with that.
Yeah, when you was trying to, you was beating me up with them 2 data points.
Nah, but you know, clear up that, so we had to discard that now. With no brown inside there. It only had 2 attestations.
Yeah, I'm not mad.
Hey, Smash.
I like it though. I don't like arguing, but I like heated discourse. I think a lot of black people do. Let's just keep it real. We be in the barbershop arguing over hoop, screaming. So we like to argue, bro.
No, man, but I want to understand what is the contention of, people we know, Smash saying, I mean, why they don't want us to be black, and they don't want us, and a lot of people don't want to be African or Kemet or none of that. They want to be Aboriginals. Everybody want to be everything but what they is.
I don't know, bro.
I
know one thing.
Hey, that
it got to
bothers
do
me.
with some issues our people got. Again, thank you for the support. Thanks for the cash apps. Thanks for the what are they called? Super chats. Make sure y'all always watch Sonetta TV and Smash Rockwell on the Smash Rockwell channel. Tap in with the Pseudo Killers. Tap in with Brother Bobby Banger every time. It's I'm a Rock Squad up. I'm gonna go and get up out of here and let's listen to this song. This song don't never get old. You can play this song at the beginning of the show,
crazy,
and at the end of the show, and it's still gonna be banging.
It's crazy, bro.
Well, no, that one too, but this is one of my favorites right here. All right, y'all. Peace.
No time for that interview, dog. I put my shit out for niggas. I don't send it to blogs. Plan kill off the Buddha, not being discreet. One puff, this big pops and projectiles. Between the sheets. Sun run, cold game, bring your cleats. The best flow blow, Eskimo, penguin feet. Don't need no blunt to burn. You run the turf with 10 niggas on the block. That's a punt return. Ayo, Dolomite prototype soldier with the solar light. Saber and he hold it like he hold a mic. Golden ice pendants. Sipping on that overpriced poltergeist spirits. Ripping at the open mic, spoke the nice lyrics like Mama moved mean overnight. Golden motorbike holding on some Tron shit. That nice neon kit is on it. The king's libation with exotic liqueur. The queen's vibration like a Sada Shakur. A lot of decor, imported foreign threads, they ain't got at the store. Nubian Kush, black top pottery jaws, 39% THC, the quality pure. Old rappers try to spit ain't hot as before. It's like I'm 5 flights above, bust the shots at the floor. Cats switch up their style when they ain't got it no more. Cause they gotta keep their product in stores to feed their kids. See what that weed did? The yes man agreeing on everything we said. I smell the mic like it's the love of my life. Don't get sliced and beat with the butt of the knife. Brother polite, I say I'm animalistic, cause I still be in the hood with my hand on my pistol. The Hebrews think I'm cannibalistic, E5 divination, channel the mystic, audio visionary. Let's play poetical Pictionary, picture me burning down your missionary. Yeah, then I send you religion. That red dot on your head, that's Hindu tradition. Invisible, independent, intrinsic shit. I'll bring it all to an end with indivisible games. Charles Xavier, getting your brain. Mental anguish or manifesting physical pain. Wizard remains to dance in the chemical rain. Breathe slow, then I'm up out of this physical plane. Got military machinery that exercise weaponized greenery. Shine at a jeopardize the scenery, son. Bruh, the beam 10 times your distance. Inclines convention. Stop rising with no trend line resistance. The parabolic breakout. I'm F-16 with the aeronautics fake out.
The God killer. The God killer. The God killer. The God killer. It's the God killer. The God killer.
That's who it is.
The God killer.